2.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pylon Show. This is episode number 85, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have some wonderful guests joining me here today. First off, Drogo, what time is it where you are?
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Thank you for being a trooper and coming on. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you continue to do pretty good as we talk about the maps, a little bit of the balance, some GSL Super Tournament and whatnot. How about you, Special? How are you doing this early morning in Korea?
Not bad, not bad. Watching some stuff, play some CS, and I'm here now.
Excellent. I'm surprised that you got up. It was daylight savings time, so the show is starting an hour earlier for us now. But thank you for coming on once again.
No problem.
Vibe, welcome back. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Just streaming before and after this. So content all day.
Yeah, we're making a little Vibe sandwich right now. Thank you for joining us. Taking some time out of your sweet streaming schedule. And then, of course, Nero. I don't know. Have you been on the show more than anyone else? Probably. How are you doing?
19,000 times. Yes, thank you for inviting me back. I'm enjoying the new season and the new maps. I have some cheese forecasts for all the lovely players of the StarCraft community. And I think I'm getting over Corona. I think that's what I had. But it hit Seattle really hard, and that's where I am, yeah.
Damn. Well, I'm glad that you are starting to feel better then.
Yeah.
All right. So these are our guests, and as I mentioned before, we are going to be talking about the new map pool, a little bit about GSL Super Tournament, and of course, a little bit about the state of balance, because you can't talk about maps without diving into that a little bit, especially when Juan is here. So we'll be going through all that, but first off, let me talk about the show and the sponsors and all that. First off, check out thepylonshow.com. This is where you get all of your Pylon Show needs, everything, the show notes, the VODs, where it is to download. Go to thepylonshow.com. We also have a forum there. It's a beautiful website. It'll tell you when the next episode is and everything. We also have a new Patreon goal. Check out patreon.com/thepylonshow. Now, you guys support a lot. We really appreciate it. And we finally have a very big announcement to make with that. We have a new goal. People have been asking for it. People have been wanting it for a long time. I've gotten Tasteless to agree to come on if we reach a goal. So if you guys want Tasteless to have to wake up at this ungodly hour of 9:45 a.m. Korean Standard Time, go ahead and check out the Patreon and give us some support, and hopefully we'll be able to get him on here, and you guys can ask him all sorts of questions. It'll be a wonderful time. Yes, finally. And so check that out on patreon.com/The Pylon Show. Also check out our Matcherino page, matcherino.com/The Pylon Show. This is a great place where you can help us out. You can check out the swag that we have there, or just type in the code and do all the little follow things. The code this week is Noodles. So you just go ahead, you sign in to it, probably using your Battle.net account, and then you hit contribute.
It's Noodle singular Noodle.
Oh, Noodle. It's Noodle. So you go ahead, Noodle, and type that in right there. Look at that. I just gave us $1. It's crazy. You can just print money with this. But please do check out matcherino.com/The Pylon Show. All right. So that is that. Let's go ahead and jump into This Week in StarCraft so that we can move forward. Okay. Jumping down to page number 3, some of the upcoming events that we'll be mentioning: the ESL Cups, the Super Tournament, Cheesadelphia 7 online, and the ASL Season 9. All right, so some up-and-coming tournaments for the ESL Open Cups. You can see, of course, not that many people sign up ahead of time, but definitely do check these out. Have you guys been playing these Open Cups?
Yep.
I do, but it's annoying, I think.
Is it annoying? Why is it annoying?
I think it's really unfair information compared, like, lag-wise, when you play these cups. That's why I think it's annoying. So let's say, I think as a European, you have the best when you play these cups, because you can play the NA and the Europe with 0 lag, and as an Asian, you really can. And the Asian one is just harder in general. So
yeah,
I think it's unfair.
The lag is that bad to the NA server?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Damn. Well, check out the the Open Cups, they're becoming more and more important, I think, as, you know, everyone has to stay home and we're having less LAN events, it seems. All right, moving forward, the GSL Super Tournament, the first one just started last night. We're actually going to have that as a slight topic later on, so we'll skip over that for now. Cheesadelphia number 12. It's going to be taking place online, April 11th and April 12th. So the qualifiers are going to start in March. Of course, this was supposed to be an offline event. It's always a really fun kind of grassroots event for the scene. So make sure you check it out online and still give them that support during these trying times. We also have ASL Season 9. We went through the first 2 groups. We had Stork win Group B with Larva get in second place. Just amazing games in that group. And then in Group A, of course, the 2 best Terrans in the world, Flash and Light, come out on top. Not as good a group as much as I love Terran. But you can check those out, of course, on the Freaka TV YouTube. This week in StarCraft, ESL Cup Korea. Cup number 9, Armani defeated Creator 3-0. And Cup number 10, Ragnarok defeated Trap 3-1. Congrats to both. You can check out those VODs over on Creighton Olsen, Base Trade TV, Zombie Grub, Cranky Ducklings, all sorts of different channels did cast it. We also have ESL Cup EU, number 9, won by Hero Marine over Clem once again. Number 10, won by Hero Marine over Rainer. This guy wins so many of those cups. This is getting ridiculous. How many cups has he won out of 10 so far for EU?
6, I think.
6. My God, what a badass. Again, yeah. This is all over the place. Wardy, Base Trade, Grant, O Gaming, Take TV, Creighton, all sorts of people casted this one, so check those out. And then ESL Cup NA, Thermal took out TLO 3-2 in the finals of number 9. And then Clem got his revenge on Hero Marine in number 10, 3-2. And again, the same channels plus Maynard for that one. Check them out. We have Olimo League. Sue defeated Zest 4-3 in the finals of the February monthly. And I wonder if it was just all Glaive builds again, as we saw from Drogo's meme earlier on, but he got up, so I couldn't make the joke. Oh, well. You can check out these VODs over on Maynard's stream. Or if you check out patreon.com/Olimoly for a very cheap price of $5 support, you actually get the replay pack each week, which is, it's just such a sick replay pack. Not as sick if you play Terran, but really sick if you play Protoss or Zerg this week. All right. Moving forward, another Olimo League did take place since we took last week off, of course. Solar defeated Trap 3-2 in the weekly. Again, check that out. Kung Fu Cup 2019. Looks like Cure took down Innovation in the finals with Patience and Maxed making it to the top 4. And it looks like Wardy and Creighton both cast this. Wait, Special, did you cast this too?
I'm a caster, dude. I'm moving on as well. Yes.
You actually casted this tournament?
Yeah. I have the rights to cast Kung Fu Cup.
Sick. Congrats. How was your casting experience? You did great at Home Story Cup.
Well, people say they really like my observing, so I guess it was good.
All right. Excellent. Well, check that out over on Special's channel as well.
Yeah.
All right. Moving forward, we also had another Kung Fu Cup where Cure defeated Zest 3-0 in the finals. Cure killing it right now. And, of course, March 19th is going to be the next one. All right, the OSC King of the Hill Weekly, number 12. Thermal ended up taking this one more than other people. It's a King of the Hill, so I guess it's not like you win the whole thing. But, Thermal took down Special.
Yeah. What?
That's it? No, you're not
what about
it? All right. Well, you can check this out over on Creighton's stream and I guess someone named Bel Air. All right, the OSC King of the Hill Weekly number 13. Looks like Creator and Christianer had the best scores at the end of the day. Again, check it out over on Creighton's stream. And we had the Grand Platypus Open. Go Joey 3-0 over Beastork in that finals. Congrats to him. That was on Cranky_Ducklings. We also had the Grand Platypus Open on Cranky Ducklings with Scyther taking down Pez in the finals 3-1. Sentimiento Latino, number 80.
Right.
Yeah, no, I've become very good at Spanish from reading through all their tournaments each week. That's how I learn it. Eric defeated Eggs 3-0. Of course, this is open to everyone from that region except you, Special, and about 2 other people.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, by the way? That there's a bunch of tournaments in that scene where like it's like you and Kelliger can't play and like Cham?
Yeah. I don't know. It's too early anyway. I'm sleeping.
Okay. All right. Well, congrats to Eric on another victory. Battle of the Americas. Cham 2-0 over Starkiller in the finals. Congrats to Cham. Really been doing well on that smaller tournament circuit lately. We also have Underdogs 2020 Season 1. Drogo, where are you in this? You're in the losers bracket against someone named Twine. Never really heard of that person. How you feeling about it?
I won against Twine. It's
Oh,
very
nice.
sad, actually. The top 4 were supposed to be offline in Paris, but now we can't anymore because of coronavirus. It was going to be like the first time in a long time that Underdogs was going to be played in the studio offline and was going to be very hype. But now they can't. So it's going to be playing online, and then the next season maybe it's going to be offline.
Damn. Well, a totally sick tournament. It's if you ignore the flags, you just kind of glance at this tournament like, damn, that's a good European tournament right there. Very strong scene in France.
You can thank Coca for that. He's kind of the guy at the head of gaming right now, doing all of the stuff. And this new Underdogs, you have to realize too, the round of 16, I think everybody in this Wikipedia page is getting paid.
Damn, nice.
No, the top 16 is the top 16. So there's like a lot of French guys. They're just going to play a lot more now just because we can get the Underdogs money.
Wait, who is Twine and how did he beat the Gold League Aritos?
Twine is a French star that has been here for forever. I'm not too up to date in the smaller French scene. I've been snubbing Ben a bit. My bad.
All right. Well, check out Underdogs over on O Gaming SC2. The Shirshadi Open, we had Spear 2-0 over Gerald in the finals. You can check that out on Twitch's on Shirshadi's channel on Twitch. The CEA, we have that starting up. The regular season is coming up over on Fear Dragon's channel. We don't have any results for you yet on that, though. Also from the CEA, of course, the Collegiate Series has started. A lot of actually strong players over there, like Silky, Asuna, Panda Bear Me, Peely Peely. You can check that out. It's already in week 4. And again, this is on Fear Dragon's channel. We have the NA Apprentice Season 2 for 2020. Looks like the group phase is done. Future Vindicta, Timoris, and Cuddle Bear winning their groups and getting the higher seeds. A lot of very strong players there. And you can check that out on which Twitch channel? I can't see. Oh, well. It's in the show notes, so you can check it out there. Creighton's channel. There we go. I got it. All right. The NA Contenders Season 2. Group Stage 1 is complete. Last surprise, Red Eye, Serial, Lightning, Lyra, and Xenodactyl have advanced to the playoffs. So you can check this out over on Cranky Ducklings. We also have Swagger Cup number 2. Parting took out Bly 3-1. Wow. I could have been a fly on the wall during those games. I wonder what those look like. Looks like Puck takes down Special 2-1. Oh, congrats, Special. Getting pretty far in that.
We didn't even play that. I don't know why it's that. That's not true.
You didn't play in that?
I mean, I played against Party and then I left because there was no third place.
Oh.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, well.
So I don't know why it's reported 2-1, but okay.
I like it though. It's like it's a death win, but in case the guys at Aligulac don't realize it's a death win, they put you one map. So you win one.
Yeah, make it less painful on your
system.
Aligulac score. Wonderful. Okay, well, congrats to Parting for the victory. We also have Afrika World 2v2. Thermal and Goblin, Clem and Skillis, BC Cutie and Max Pax, Kelliger and Denver all playing. And it looks like Euthermal Goblin ended up winning over Kelliger Denver 3-1. This was done by Falcon Paladin Laughing Games. You can check it out over on AfrikaTV.com. The Alpha Pro Series Ultimate Showdown. Zound defeated Sioux 4-2. Oh, wow, that's pretty sick. A very stacked lineup there, and Zound wins a tournament. One of our up-and-coming Korean players at the moment. Congrats to him. Another tournament that you can check out, I believe, over on Afrika TV. Yes.
Wait, he actually won? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he took it down. Look at that. All right. The Ball Guy Classic number 2 by Creighton Olsen. Vanya defeated Goblin 3-2. And this is where everyone has to play with random. So congrats to Vanya. We also have the Legacy Weekly Japan, Rilakuma 2-0 over Nadacon. You can check this out on their YouTube channel. And of course, if you are in Japan, you speak Japanese, all that, this is a great way for you to connect with your local scene. All right, the Coach Clash 4. We had Ilias over Volticus 3-0. This is a Platinum Heroes community tournament. So this is great for you guys in the chat watching who are in Platinum. And it's got $50 in prizes. So pretty sick. You can check that out. Challenge.com/Coach Clash. All right, the NA Team League Rumble. We have Alpha X, Exxon, Icebound Esports, and Risen from the Gosu. All playing in it. Wonderful name right there. And it looks like that is going on Creighton's channel as well. You can check it out for some NA team action. We have Probots 2020 Season 1. Group stages have begun. There were worker rushes. There was Nidus attacks. All sorts of crazy stuff. Of course, if you are interested in StarCraft 2 bots, you definitely want to check out this tournament. And of course, yeah, do that. The ESL StarCraft 2 Open Cup Italy. Looks like Azeroth took down Nisho 2-0 there in the finals. A lot of strong players playing from the region. And yeah, we have the link for that if you are from Italy and want to do that. Okay, Pizza Pie Biweekly Season 3 Special. 3-1 over Namshar in the finals. Can you tell us
the
what
tournament I was waiting for?
I know. This is
just waiting the whole time for the Pizza Pie Weekly when we do this week in StarCraft.
I woke up and I was hungry, man. And then I remember the price of the pizzas in Korea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I see the Team Liquid sideboard, you know. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
let's get like
go.
30,000 won pizza. And that's what happened.
You got a 30,000 won pizza? Where'd you order from Domino's?
Papa John's. Papa John's.
Oh, Papa John's. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. And what topping did you get?
Pepperoni.
All right.
With some ketchup on top. It was great.
You put ketchup on top, or it came with ketchup on top?
I put ketchup on top.
You are so nasty. All right. Well, congrats on your first pizza victory. Hope to see you in more of those in the future.
Probably not, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Going forward, Chinese 2020 esports plan announced. 2020 is the year of transformation of StarCraft 2 in the world. It'll be divided into two parts, the ESL Masters and Golden Team League. Cool. So it looks like China is going to have some of its own events going on with some Chinese qualifiers and team leagues and things like that. They're going to have an all-star game as well. So if you are Chinese and eligible to play in that, definitely check it out. All right, ESL ANZ Champs Pro Tour. And it looks like that is joining the ESL Pro Tour. It's replacing the WCS Challenger Tournament for that region. And yeah, it's going to have qualifier dates for the upcoming tournaments. So if you're from that region, definitely take a look. We also have Mapper's Delight number 2. Again, another tournament by Creighton. It looks like it's on the 21st. Registration still open. A lot of the new maps going to be used. Maps like Fighter's Poison, Hell Gates, Hidden Resort, Krug's Cavern, Lockout, Pandemonium, and Storm and Meadow. Check it out on the channel, Mapper's Delight. We also have the Alpha X Junior Championship Season 4 for players 15 years old or younger who have never reached 6K MMR. Looks like Ghosty and Wannabe Byun are both in the top 4 at the moment, with Group B playing on the 21st. We also have the Alpha Pro Series. God, we have a lot of tournaments going on right now. It is insane. Zound versus Cure on March 5th. So I guess that actually already occurred. Unsure who won that, but you can check it out on Alpha XSC2 on Afrika TV. We have the Wardy TV Team Spring Championships beginning April 2020, a $5,000 tournament. Yeah, you check this out over on Wardy's channel if you're going to play or watch. We also have Taco Cup number 5, March 21st from Jim Rising. It's his own online tournament that he makes once a year. 16 players, 12 invited, 4 from the Latin American qualifier. Are you playing in this one?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, $1,800 prize pool. That's pretty big. You can check this out over on Jim Rising's Twitch channel. All right. The Amantes de StarCraft 2. That means StarCraft 2 lovers. This is a Brazilian tournament made by Legolas. It's going to be on Thursday, March 20th, which is tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, you can check that out on Cosmos SC2. We also have the Rainer Holdout Challenge. Rifkin was talking about this last time he was on, where it's on Base Trade TV. You can, for a certain donation price, you can try to last as long as possible against Rainer, who's probably going to cheese you out very, very quickly. So check that out over on Base Trade TV. We also have some new content from Cyan, who's been MIA for a little bit, but comes back with some talking about our StarCraft treating memes. So you can check out Cyan's stuff.
You want to know what's funny about Rainer, Mr. Artosis?
Yeah, I do.
So, you know, he's been streaming lately.
Mhm.
And I bet him that he wouldn't be able to beat me playing from Korea.
Yeah.
And in Europe server, and he playing Protoss. And he accepted the challenge, and he lost. And guess what he has to do as a punishment? Take a
What?
guess. He has
What's
to
he
put
gonna do?
ketchup on his next pizza and take a photo of it. He has to do this. He's not
Damn.
happy.
Damn.
It's gonna be great.
That's a great bet. I'm glad that you took that initiative, Juan.
Yeah.
That video of Cyan is 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's way
Did
too
you watch
long.
it, or?
No, I saw
didn't
30 minutes. I pissed out extremely fast. There's no way it has to be this long.
Forgive me if I missed, but was the shoe ever eaten? I know there was a shoe that was.
No, Jake never ate the shoe.
Certainly not. No.
Never happened.
A lot of things going wrong in this community right now, I tell you. All right.
True.
The TLNet Map Contest 14. They've earned their money and whatnot. It looks like 1 Blackburn, 2 2,000 Atmospheres, 3 Lightshade, 4 Beckett Industries, and 5 Submarine. Congrats to those map makers. This week in Brood War, we have the STPL. This is the tournament that Kix has, the team league. It looks like we're up to the top 4. Soul Gaming, IRK, Valhalla Team, and White Clan. Cast by Kix and Rapid. You can check it out over on SPL TV. Caster Muse Narok Star League Season 2 continues onwards. I think we had one more group playing tonight, Group B. This is for the players that did not make it into ASL, but are still very high-level pro gamers, with a 3 million won prize pool, about 3K. You can check it out over on Caster Muse's stream on Afrika TV. We also have the Russian Pro League. It looks like the 3rd place match, Gorinich won over TTF. So the legendary Not For You getting top 3 in Russia still. Very nice. And DeWalt versus SPX not quite played yet to see who is the best Russian player. Check it out on GG_Silver on Twitch TV. Very strong players in the Russian scene, so definitely worth your time. The KCM Challenge Race Survival 2020 Season 1. Week 8, it looks like Protoss ended up winning that. Week 9, we had an all-kill from Terran. Holy shit. Look at that. Sock all-killed everybody. This guy just returned to playing a couple months ago. So congrats to him. Strong victory. You can check it out on Caster Muse's stream. And we have the Brood War G's Weekly. No big surprise. Scan takes that down in the finals over Chaylin. Congrats to Scan for another victory. We also have the LA LAN number 2, Jaeyun, able to go ahead and win the second LA LAN put on by Afrika TV. Ultra actually flew in from Chile and got 2nd place to Jaeyun. And of course, Machine, the longtime NA Zerg, got 3rd place there. Congrats to all. Looked like a great tournament. Cast by Doc Holiday. You can definitely check that out over on Afrika TV.
They're lucky Nyokin wasn't there.
They are lucky. He would have cleaned those chobos up, man.
Easy.
We also have the StarCraft AIT, the Artificial Intelligent Tournament. Looks like Purple Wave took down Beta Star 3-0 in PvP. Congrats to that bot. It's cast weekly by Sonko and Nightcat, so you can check that out. We have AI StarCraft Tournament Season 3. Locutus over Purple Wave 3-0 in the finals there. So congrats to Locutus for being a strong bot, I guess. We also have the Undermine podcast, episode number 39. I think the creator of the Jaeger's bot was on. You can check that out on makingcomputerdothings.com. We just have the Undermine podcast episode this week and much more news over on makingcomputerdothings.com. The Schnail, the StarCraft Human and AI League, has entered the beta phase. And Nice Username has been streaming some of the games against the bots. So you can check all that out if you're interested in that bot scene. I'll be playing against those bots pretty soon as well to let people see how strong they are. All right, this week in Awesome, Intro to StarCraft 2 Ladder Anxiety. Maynard put out a very high-quality video about getting ready for ranked ladder, important in-game settings, and fighting ladder anxiety. Maynard's 3 special secret methods. So check that out over on Maynard's YouTube. I know he put a lot of effort into that. All right. Also, we have Gamers Against COVID-19. PC gamers can contribute to the fight against COVID-19 by donating your unused GPU and CPU computing power. Install a small program on your computer and it downloads a small amount of data that it analyzes, then returns results to Stanford researchers. This is done through the Folding at Home project of Stanford University. There's an FAQ, and there's a big article about it on terrancraft.com if you would like to help out. All right. And that is that right there. There we go. This week in StarCraft. Holy crap, that was a lot of tournaments this week.
Yeah.
StarCraft Live Game 2020.
Seriously. So, on to the main meat and potatoes of the show here. So we are going to be talking about the new map pool, going through that a little bit, talking a little bit about the state of balance in the game, and then jumping into a little bit of discussion about GSL Super Tournament. So, without further ado, I guess let's start talking about some of these new maps. I really want to hear, obviously, Drogo, you are a professional Protoss. Juan, you are a professional Terran. And then we have 2 very high-level Zergs, and the former professional Vibe, and the good streaming Zen Gosu GM Zerg in Neuro. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So we actually only have 3 new 1v1 maps for this season. I'm going to go ahead and read the description of them, and then we'll talk about each one. Okay, so Everdream LE. This was by Maris, who we've had on the show before in our map making episode. She was the creator of like Disco Bloodbath, and the other map is Winter's Gate, I believe it was. Anyways, it says the map has 16 blue bases, 2 of which have a single rich Vespene geyser. The average rush distance is 37 seconds. There are rocks in the middle path and on the ramp leading into the low ground third. Line of sight blockers are situated at the 11 and 5 o'clock positions on the outer path of the map, in the high ground areas near the outer path, and in the direct middle. Lastly, main bases not directly in the corner. All right, so if we can get that map on the screen, love to hear what you guys think about this map.
Firstly, can I just say that the aesthetic of this one is gorgeous? If you're going to be playing on a map a whole bunch, having a nice setting is cool, and this has a amazing jade vibe to it. I really like it. There aren't really others that jump to mind that looked similar to this, so it doesn't feel like the standard like gray industrial format that we've seen a million times.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of maps have been prettier lately. Like I was a big fan of how Zen looked. Maybe not how it plays, but how it looks. It looks very cool. But no, it's a good looking map.
I've enjoyed the games on this map quite a bit. It does feel pretty nice for Zerg. There are a lot of rocks to break, but once those are open, the paths are pretty accessible. The bases are pretty close together. It doesn't really feel that weird. Of the new maps, this is the least weird one.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. It was a bit spooky because there's technically a third base with a rich geyser that you can take, but it seems like it's gonna be harder to defend that on the World of Sleeper. Plus, if it ever becomes a real issue, you can just make the base not reach gas anymore. So
yeah, that's what my biggest worry, and I don't agree that it's not that easy to defend. I think it's pretty easy to defend that base. Even if it's just as a 4 base, it makes such a big difference to have a rich base being geyser, especially for Protoss and Zerg. I think many people would just want that gas to be like normal, On my
Are you finding in your ladder games that a lot of people are taking that base quickly?
Well, yeah, that even especially Zergs, they can do like they take. How Terra nowadays like to block the third base.
Yeah.
So they just make this as the third base, and they can ravage you from from 2 gases instead of like 3. So it's really quick and it's really fast. I just feel like that doesn't fit the game. You shouldn't be able to have a gas that mines double and that's better for some races than for other ones, I think.
Yeah, I do tend to agree. It's not like Protoss or Terran can do anything cool with that base, you know. If we could all do cool stuff with that, then maybe it'd be fine. But it's literally just Zerg that are like, guess I'll just take it and join a lane that's going to be very strong a lot of the time.
Just so the viewers are aware, Drogo and Special have a way higher skill than me, so I may be taking notes on some of these things we talk about.
Yeah, you should be doing Ravager all-ins on this map.
Yeah.
Take the Rich Vespine base quickly. Okay, got it. What else do you have?
I think on this map for Zerg, I've noticed there's definitely like an emphasis on you have to like expand, or it's ideal to expand along the side of the map too, instead of kind of going in like a box formation on your base too. Because the only thing I've seen about this map that's really abusable for me is if you look at like the third base that's just under the main, if you were to go in like a triangle, the cliff in the middle of the map is so ridiculously good for tank timings. It's actually just insane. I've actually tried going on like, you know, seeing how I go with like that kind of a expansion form, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah,
But
it's not good.
yeah, if you take the side though, it's super easy. It's a good map for Zerg for sure.
Like Terran always wants to do triangle bases as Vibe says, but I'm even finding myself not doing triangle against Protoss and Zerg because it's way too open to defend, you know.
Yeah.
And the reason Terran wants to do triangle is because we don't have reinforcements that quick to defend main base against War Prism or Muralist or whatever. So triangle bases is easier to defend, but it's so bad to do triangle bases on this map that we usually leave the main open, I guess.
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
also.
well,
Or go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say that personally as a Protoss, I really like line bases, so you can suck it. That's
Well, the product is good in line bases. That's the difference.
But
Also, one note here, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna bring one thing. This map is actually pretty short in the distance from the main base to the third base. It's very much like Nightshade in that regard, and I think it's a little bit better than Nightshade, which means that as a Protoss player, if you do like a Warp Prism timing with just the Warp Prism flying in and the warping in Adepts immediately, it's very strong. Like I think we're gonna see a lot of that on this map, purely because of how short it is. And when you compare that to the rest of the map pool, there's only two maps like this. It's Nightshade on this one. On every other, you can't do a lot of his really powerful builds. So we're gonna see a lot of two-base Protoss stuff, I think, on this map.
Yeah, I had a question though, because I've been playing random a lot, and I've been doing actually a lot of Protoss too. And Drogo, for you, do you still do, or did you ever really do a lot of wall offs where you would like block a Reaper from getting into your base, on like a Reaper jump spot?
I mean, it's pretty standard these days. No, I feel like if you can wall against the Reaper, you should almost always do it.
Do you still do it on like this map, for instance?
I mean, why
not?
Yeah,
because like for me, like when I still do it as well, but I feel like every turn now just does tank timings, and this map and purity and industry, they just feel like harder to defend tank timings on because the tank has such like a good oversight part of like where the Reaper jump spot is, at least in my opinion.
In
like,
general, like I understand what you're saying, but if an Terran entire builds just like if I really early tank timing just spends time killing your Cybercore wall and not doing anything else like killing you, I'm actually okay with that. The only bad thing about this wall is sometimes the 2 Medivac, you know, moving out is gonna kill the Cybercore for free, but there's very little to the game, so you don't care. Sure. And when it's this early, they commit to tanks and they just sit here to kill your wall. I don't know. I've never had this situation happen to me ever when I'm like, damn, this really sucks. Because they should be trying to kill you when they do these things, not just killing your wall.
Sure.
One thing to point out too on this map is the main base is heckin' huge. So for our friends on the ladder and stuff, watching out for Proxy Hatch, maybe a factory is in your main base, Warp Prism in the main, Nidus into the main base. There are lots of cheeses that could work here. And at the start of any new season, there tends to be a heavy representation of cheese. And then as the season goes, the ladder gets less and less cheesy. So I had a quick 10-day ladder forecast for people that just runs down the 7 maps real quick. If we want to have a weatherman neuro for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Let's I guess go through the 3 maps and then go through the cheeses for the maps. I think that'll do better.
Sounds good.
All right. I love that though. That's wonderful. Because it's actually really, really true. And it's not just StarCraft 2, but in StarCraft 1 as well. As soon as a new season starts, you know it's just pure cheese for like at least 3 or 4 days minimum. Every game is just all ins, and it's just like, oh, I got to learn every little angle of this map now and all the hiding spots for shit. Oh my god. So yeah, okay. So a little bit more about this, the Everdream map. Does this map feel like it's like how does the balance feel for the map? You guys are mentioning maybe it's a little bit good for Zerg, especially because the rich Vespene, but also Drogo, you said the 2 base attacks are good here.
Personally, like for all of these maps, I didn't play on them enough to have a strong opinion. But so far, this one feels okay. Like maybe the gas is a problem, but the map is so standard looking that it can't be that bad, I think.
Yeah, it looks okay.
I like it too.
I think the gas is a problem, to be honest.
For Zerg, I like it a lot, especially of the new 3. This one's the
Yeah,
best
like
for Zerg.
it's not bad. Like the main base being so big is obviously not good for Terran, but it can be played.
Creep spread feels good on this map too. There aren't too many vision blockers, which makes it more difficult to spread creep. It's like on Purity and Industry, getting the creep tumors through the smoke and stuff is kind of annoying, but this one's nice and clear and visible.
For me, the only thing that feels a little weird about this map is the natural size and position sometimes. Like if you get cannon rushed, you can get cannon rushed actually on the low ground and your natural to your main. Like they can leapfrog into like they can knock out the gas right away. The natural feels really tight. Like it's just when I'm playing on this map, the natural feels really just condensed, or like which is it's not a bad thing. That's just kind of like it feels different than other maps. But otherwise, I think it's a really good map. It's fun.
Oh, there's actually a bug on this map, you know. So let's say, yeah, like when you start the game and you're working your minerals, you're working, or your receives are mining or whatever. It feels like when they go back to command center to mine, they're going up a ramp, you know? So there's like a little delay. It feels really weird on the main basis. I don't know why, but I already mentioned it, so they're going to fix it, I think. It's really, really annoying. You feel like you're lagging.
They're going up a ramp?
Yeah, like when they deliver the mineral back to your command center, they feel like they're going up a ramp. Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
I don't know why.
Okay. So overall, a pretty good map. No complaints for any matchup. There's nothing that's been super bad yet.
Yeah, I think you have options for everything, honestly. There's nothing that's just broken.
Well, the gas broke.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty
Nice map, pretty standard, looks great. I enjoy it.
All right, well, already this, we did a map episode last season. I think, Neuro, you might have even been on for that. This is already going better than last season's map pool. So I remember there was just pure complaints last. So... All right, I guess let's jump down to Golden Wall LE. Read from the... Oh, I'm excited. So Super Owlman made this one. His blurb says, this map structure is very unique. A wall divides the map in 2 very distinct halves. The bottom half of the map is inaccessible at the beginning of the game. There are 3 ways to get to the bottom part. Mine the middle reduced minerals, mine the gold base, or mine the main back door. The players can choose to play the way they want. They can play the map in a vanilla style with 5 easy bases on the top part of the map, or they can take advantage of the unique features of the map and outsmart the opponent by using the bottom part of the map.
5 easy bases.
They're pretty far away. If you're expanding up, the distance between the bases is huge. From a personal note, I have 14 games on Golden Wall and I have a 0% win rate. So please help. I have no idea what to do. Nothing has worked so far.
Amazing. What are we, Juan? You were coughing.
It's a bad map, dude. Like what do you want to say?
Why?
Against Protoss, you can't win, and against Zerg, it's pretty bad as well.
Well, tell me why. You gotta give me more than
which
that.
one? You tell me which one to start, Protoss or Zerg?
Please, Protoss. I didn't play any Terran on this map, so I don't know.
You literally go blink and take the third base as a gold, and you can't do anything about it. Nothing. So they have a third base with gold and spamming cells, and they just win. It happens every single game in Korea server. It's really fucking annoying. Like there's literally not much you can do. If you don't kill them with like a mind drop or like Hellion run by at the beginning, they just have the gold base from a third base. Imagine a normal TVP, you know? They have 3 base and the Terran goes and pressures with the 2 base or whatever, but they have a gold. So they have way more units. And if you try to play like 3CC, you can't really defend the 3CC because the way the map structure works is really hard to defend the third base.
Do you think if they added in Reaper jump spots on the bottom side of the map where the minerals can be mined out, would that help that? Because you can't jump a Reaper in the base in the back at all.
Yeah, that's true. You can also like literally no
Yeah,
scout. on this map.
I agree. I think this is a really terrible turn map. For against Protoss, it's really bad.
It's like the worst thing I ever seen. And I seen bad things. This reminds me like Acropolis. I thought Acropolis was a terrible map for PvP. This might be worse.
Damn.
Okay. And I
Neutral
think,
savage wrecked.
yeah, no, that's
You just like think about it. They go blink and take a third base. And like, well,
Sure.
new thing you can do.
Yeah, I can see it happen. Like, I haven't played the map, so if they do that, it's probably very good.
Yeah.
It's an interesting dynamic too with the 7 maps in the pool and how a lot of people are going to veto this, but if it gets into a best of 7 for finals, we may see games on this. So people are going to have to figure out.
One was question. Do you take the triangle map, Pappy? Against Protoss? Do you mine the minerals and take the third base like at the back door?
No, it's not possible. If they go blink, you can't really defend. Also, there's another problem with this map. If you mine 2 minerals and you can walk stalkers, ravagers, whatever through there, right?
Tanks can't go through.
Well, you can't. Your fucking tank can go through. You need to mine 4 minerals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What the fuck is that, man?
I've tried doing that too, where you do like a tank timing and the tank just gets stuck.
Oh no.
It's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't help the problem.
Yeah.
damn.
Like taking a third base in this map as Terran against Protoss, I'm talking specifically against Protoss, it's really hard. So you're committed to like a 2 base all in. And then you can take like your Terras a goal, but the Protoss take the Terras a goal, so they're so much richer than you. So winning a game is really, really, really hard in this map against Protoss.
That's rough. So is this going to be your veto against Protoss players?
Did you see TY be assessed? Did you see the veto?
I don't remember the veto, but
the veto was this. The veto was this.
Well, he still lost to a gold base, but we'll get to that map next.
Yeah.
What about
TBC? I don't know TBC. Yeah, TBC I haven't played a lot. Some Zerg say it's bad for Zerg.
Yeah.
Some others. Okay.
The thing I heard was the thing that makes it hard for this map if you play it a certain way is you wall off the top natural as Terran. You mine out the mineral patches on the south side of your base, and you just do a push on Zerg from one angle because they can't really flank you anymore. Yeah, so but what's up?
The thing I'm getting there is like I think Zerg players are playing this map incorrectly. And listen to me. Sure. What if? And it happened to me in the Korea ladder. What if you take your natural normally, right? And you take your third base inside? Then what?
Like you just mine the base, the bottoms, but then you just have to fight Terran though from one angle at a time. It's really hard to flank Terran when you.
Not really, because the way Terran production works, I will be rolling everything to my natural inside, right?
Well, that's your third base actually. Your natural is still up top, but then your third base is below, and you just do timing from third to third, like on the south side.
No, but then it's way too open, Like you think it's close, but it's not really close. Like defending both sides like this is really hard for Terran.
That's why I mean I feel like if you can put the Zerg on a pressure point where you just keep the Zerg on defense, then it works. But if the Zerg is definitely like if the Zerg is cutting drones and pressuring you, then I guess you have to like manage both sides.
Like I don't know, because if I take my natural down there, like normal natural, and then mine and take my Terran behind this, like the way the production rally works for Terran is really fucked up, Like it's not that easy. We want to defend, like not want to be in one side with or rally point, but you can come from the whole other side of the map. Even if there's like a wall, you just kill it.
Sure.
For TVZ, you think 2 base muta is good? Expanding down and forward for the third?
But not on this map, probably not, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. I don't know. I haven't played TVC that much on this map, but I feel like
I have the answer for you, Juan. You make your natural command center into a planetary, and
there you go.
There
you go.
Yes. The typical.
You got to get those gold league strats, dude.
Yeah.
Like I try some stuff. Like I tried, you mine your things and you make your natural inside, and then you take the gold as a third, or you just play like normal.
I think that's awful against Zerg. I think you could screw for that. Like Ravagers would just ruin you.
I don't think it was that good too. And then I tried take the normal one and take a gold as well as third. I don't know. It feels hard because if you take the 3 bases that you mentioned, it's gonna be so open to defend everywhere.
That's why. What if you wall like your natural though with bigger things than depots, like engineering bays or like actual production buildings?
Yeah, but they're gonna get they're gonna die to banings. You don't want your e-base dying to banings. It's not good. Trust me.
That's true. We can't argue with that. You don't want that to happen.
I'm just saying, like, I haven't seen many Zergs do what I just said. You take your natural normally, and you take the third base inside your base.
Yeah.
And then you creep spread both sides. Then see what happens.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna quickly bring my initial impression in PvZ,
Mm-hmm.
where at first I was like, damn, if I take the normal third, so to speak, sometimes we just take the gold and we do a queen march with more money. That's rough. Like, that's rough. And then I played some guys that just go like 2 base layer, very fast farm host, and as you can notice, there's a lot of Nidus spots.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there's a few
To-
nice spots on this map. That's
to
for
throw
sure.
things. But
Yeah, that's another problem.
I do
Go on.
believe I have found the solution to both of these problems. You take the back base and you go 3 base carriers. I think it's genius. I actually think in PvZ, even without the carrier part, we're gonna mine the minerals and take the other thing as a third base. Maybe I'm gonna be completely wrong, but I do believe it's gonna be done quite a bit of the time. And once you do that, then maybe it's a good map for Protoss. I'm not super sure because we're still a gold base, you know. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe it's
But-
fine if we have such easy 3 bases to defend.
So you're doing what Vibe told me to do, but it works better for Protoss because you have like cannons and you can warp in units, right? But we can't do that, so that's why it works more good for Protoss than for Terra, for example.
Yeah,
Okay.
on like in PvZ, like if you can't quit. You can't really queen march if you have a ramp, you know, with
Yeah.
3 big buildings and cannons. Like it's not that good.
Mm.
But
What-
I'll have to see. Though one of the things too, like with this map or the next map we're gonna look at, they're gonna create different games for sure.
Yeah,
then-
for sure.
And
Yeah.
I guess if that's what we wanted, they got it. But that is one map. The very first time I played this map, it was against Neeb, and he just started on the 3 bases like I just described, and he went mass carriers in PvP. And I
That's
couldn't kill
awesome.
him, you know. Because even though I was like ahead by 60 supply, I just was sitting behind cannons and stasis. And I just sat here for 5 minutes, waited for him to get 200 of carriers disruptors, and I died. It was extremely
Yeah.
sad.
I know playing TVP in this map is the worst.
I was struggling against 2 base Prism Twilight into a gold third from Protoss. Do you think that's good?
Like a
No.
DT drop?
No, a depth.
Because I died
Sure.
to Zerg doing gold base into roaches. You know.
Gold third into roaches.
Also, can I send you a photo, Artosis? Like
Yeah.
you would like to see a photo. Hold on, I'm gonna put it like on Discord, I guess.
Okay.
This is look at this. This is not right.
Wait. Oh no, this is not from you. Okay.
This is not right, man.
You know, this map actually reminds me a little bit of Redshift. Even though they're nothing alike, it reminds me of that a little bit. I'm gonna link it for people that don't remember.
Juan, what am I looking at here, man?
You're looking at
I think it's
what
the double
Protoss can
gold.
do.
The double gold. He's like, Zealots, double gold. Zealots.
Yeah, if you look at the
Oh,
mini map,
oh.
you can see.
Disgusting, man.
And
I
Protoss
was like,
has
yeah,
the
you took a
upper
gold
left
base.
base too?
What is this?
No, that's like proxy gateways.
Uh,
Disgusting, man.
Well, I could have told you which Protoss player this was when you sent the
Well, this everyone, because many people do this. I face it too. It's proper disgusting, man.
Protoss should not be allowed to do this.
Gold bases are always an issue, aren't they? I mean, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
just historically every time a gold base pops up, there's complaints and it's aggravating. Although, you know, as
Well,
like,
it can be
for
done
spectators and
sometimes.
stuff, it's fun to watch people struggle on a map like this.
Has there ever been a good
Yeah.
map with a gold base?
A good map with a gold
Habitation
base.
Station?
Yeah, habitation station was fine, kind of. If you take away
Yeah,
the
that
tranquil
one was
flag,
okay. It was okay.
but that was holdable.
Yeah.
But that was like an old metagame too. I bet you if we re-released Habitation Station, it would be the most
Yeah,
broken
probably.
shit in the whole world.
True. they will walk queens through your base or something.
Actually, what was that? What was that map with the really long? It had the in-base natural in the back, and then it had like below that, it was like very tall map, and then it had a gold base on the side.
Hmm.
What was that map?
Inside base?
Was it the one that had that like the really thin hallway on the side of the map?
No, not the
Okay.
hallway.
Was that the one
I
that
wish I could describe
Avex
this
made that was like snow and blood?
No, not that one. No,
No.
I remember that one well.
Is it the guy in the chat suggestions? Vandy
Yeah,
Research
that one,
Station?
I'm googling that one.
Yeah,
That one?
Vonnie. There you go. Vonnie Research Station. That was like, as far as a map that had gold bases.
Yeah,
one was
that
fun. That's
okay.
good.
That is a fine goal base. Like it's very high,
Yeah.
very hard to defend. That's how
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
Are we due for a throwback season again? Would
What
that
do
be
you
fun?
I feel like that should have been the winter season, probably, where we didn't have any StarCraft for like, I don't know, what was it, 2 years of no StarCraft?
I think if they do it again, they should really do it in like on a separate layer. I couldn't bring myself to just play old maps right now.
I hated that. I hated the Dream Pool. That was so frustrating.
I don't know anyone that liked it.
So okay, so Gold Wall. Is
Terrible.
everyone giving this map thumbs down? Is there anything that we like about it? Are the mirror
No.
matchups good here? Well, no.
Oh,
Drogo said that
TVT
it's just sitting there.
terrible.
TVT's fine.
No, it's really bad.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yes.
And PvP might be carriers, so it's like,
Yeah, it's just gonna be awkward builds. I feel like it's not gonna be standard at all. And yeah,
I still have some hope for it as a Protoss player because like I
it's good
know,
against Terran.
yeah, it's good against Terran, and it might be okay against Zerg if you play it in a weird way. So in essence, I was really looking for the map pool where the weird map was actually favored for me, and this might be another one, but not holding my breath. Like
You have two. The next one is favored as well.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not.
I
I'm
think it is.
super sure.
I think it is. What Purity and Industries, I feel like a really good Protoss map.
Yes.
all right. Well, let's.
Okay.
I guess let's jump forward. Do you guys
Let's
have
see.
anything else to say about Golden Wall before we jump into Purity and Industry?
Well, I have 0% win rate currently, but now I have some fresh notes from Petit Drogo and Special, so I'm ready to get some games in.
Excellent. All right. Moving on. Purity and Industry. LE from Super Owlman.
Oh, God,
I chose to use inhibitor zone generators exclusively in areas where only air units can be affected. To fully use air only inhibitor zone generators, I decided to use a map layout where both players start very close by air. I compensated for the short air travel time by filling the air gap with inhibitor zone generators. I feel like he edited this paragraph and then forgot that the same thing was said 3 times. I compensated for the short air travel. Yeah, okay. I kept a small space that isn't slowed on the edge of the map. The route allows for a safer attack and retreat path for airdrop and harass. The power of airplay toward the main base is reduced because the attacker's units will get hit a few more times by the defender if they go straight through the inhibitor zone generators. The ground rush distance is quite long to bait players to still go for air units, even if they are weaker in this map.
Okay. One thing, completely ignoring any matchups. When I'm on this map and I look at the minimap, all of the red zones appear on the minimap. It's cluttering the minimap so much, I get so triggered. Because you keep looking at it and there's these millions of red things on your minimap. And
it looks like little gateways or something. It's like,
I'll have to get used to it because I keep thinking that there's something happening, but it's just these zones. That's just it. The other thing too that I think everybody can agree on is this map is gigantic.
Yeah.
The distance from third base to third base is insane. And on top of that, it's literally a ramp first. Like this map is gonna produce a lot of very long games, I think.
Yeah. It will.
That's what it's gonna do.
It seems like with the inhibitor zones, the air-to-air travel time is pretty normal because they're slowed down. The main base is huge, so there's a lot of drop potential. I have caught a few prisms. Whenever something tries to escape, that's the point of opportunity that feels really different. It's like an extra 2 queen volleys. Whenever
queens suddenly have even more range.
Yeah.
I felt that. But yeah, even though it's slowed down, it still feels like it's quite short. Like you're gonna see some memes with the air distance. Like we saw SOS go carriers on this map. So
have you guys actually seen any race besides Terran take the island base?
I took it with Nidus.
Did you? Okay. Because I've played like probably 30 games on this map, and I've only seen Terran take it every time.
Yeah, this is the one map where Rainer and a bunch of European Zergs were really whining against Terran. But
okay, listen to this.
Okay, I'm listening.
I think for now, today, 19th of March, it's a Terran against Zerg map. But I see potential. I see potential for Zerg on this map. I think that if they use their brain a little bit, they will find that some stuff that's very good against Terran on this map. But for now, it's a Terran map against Zerg.
All right. I will remember this prediction.
Yeah, you see, the difference. I'm an honest person. I'm telling you the truth. For now, this is a Terran map. For now, against Zerg, not against Protoss.
Okay.
Yeah, I do want to point out I forget who I heard say this, but it really looks like Scrap Station a lot.
It does.
With inhibitor zones, like very, very much, just bigger. But
there is a gold base, but it's so far away. It seems like it's not going to be in play very often.
The only time I ever saw this gold base being taken was MC against Jinro in GSL. It was on Scrap Station. On the game ended at the gold base, if I remember correctly. And I don't think it's ever going to be taken. Oh, what am I saying? Zest took it. Oh my god.
Zest took it last night, yeah.
Yes.
And he just kind of was like, hey, I have a gold base. I have too many units. What's up?
Well, he killed a medivac. That was a big yikes.
Yeah.
The entire game was kind of like an unlucky series of events for TY. Because he got so unlucky this game.
What is PVT like on the map normally?
Well, it's like a proxy Stargate. That's no proxy. So yeah.
I feel like this map. I feel like this map has like lots of expansions that are tight and easy to defend, and it's just easy for charge lot builds, like tons of charge lots again.
Are we talking PVZ or PVT?
PVT. Protoss versus Terran.
I went 0-6 on this map yesterday.
Damn, sounds like these new maps are hard for you, man.
Well, Golden Wall and Purity feel really weird for Zerg.
I think if you have a playstyle on this map that is just designed to go for longer, not for a timing, it's going to favor this map harder. So you do macro builds.
Okay, you're going to have to sell it on me a little bit, Peppy, because I'm not super convinced this map is that Protoss favored against Terran.
I think it is. Because, like, you can't play like use normal style on this map, obviously. But if you go like so many Protoss, what are they doing? It's like they go one base, Stargate into Nexus. So the Oracle gets so fast in your base, and you have control all the game basically, and you can't. Like I can't do anything to compensate. Like I can't go and drop you, or I can't do anything until and it's hard to defend the first Oracle already because it's so quick. You don't even have like a mine or anything. It's like a proxy Oracle, but with no risk of being proxy. So it's a big problem, I think. And I feel like the late game in general is not bad for Protoss on this map because the chokes are quite good for Protoss in this map in general, like to fight on.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like it's a good argument in some situations, but sometimes it's good for Terrans. Like I feel like it's also a map where Terran can just take many bases, have a lot of liberators. So if I can turtle easy enough that I can get carriers, then I'm fine. But if I have like the Stalker, Disruptor, Colossus, Storm, whatever army, it's kind of hard to flank the Liberator army. No?
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's one of those maps that is quite easy to turtle, to be honest. It's very hard to kill you. On this
I do agree that it's easy to turtle on this map. But that's the thing, right? I had this thought earlier. Yeah, and sometimes I'm thinking it's crazy. And that if it's a map where Protoss can get to carriers against like the usual Terran late game, then it's probably extremely favored towards Protoss. But if it's so easy to defend that Terran can actually get to the ultimate battlecruiser army, then it's probably very Terran favored. But I'm not quite sure where it is, exactly. So we'll have to see about that.
Yeah. Are we actually starting to see carriers against Terran?
The only time I've seen, okay, sorry, you can go ahead. But personally, the only time I've seen it, it's when stats.
Because you were just talking about Protoss getting carriers against Terran. I'm like, what year are we in? Like, what?
No, because like
so many do it. Once they make carriers, you usually, I guess, kind of. It's very hard to beat carriers at Terran.
I can't remember seeing any recent games.
Like pretty much the way I view it is Terran against Protoss when they play late game, they never go for mass air. But if at some point the game is stabilized enough and they get away with getting either mass carriers or mass battlecruiser, the player getting to that usually just wins the game.
Yeah.
But on a map where it's really easy to turtle, it's more of a possibility than on normal maps.
Okay.
Well, it's also more easy for Protoss to go to mass carrier than for Terran to go mass VC.
True.
Yeah, for sure. What about PVZ on this map? Because like we saw last night that weird ass carrier rush, which made me
Which
think of
was
that when we were talking about mobile.
100% Rogue's fault. Oh my, Rogue played. Okay, first thing first. This map is so gigantic. I refuse to believe Zergs are not gonna play Overload Speed on it. What are you gonna die against? Like for real? Like the third to third distance, you have to take a transatlantic flight to get to the other side of the map. It's so huge. You can die to anything, so at the very least, get an overload in there to scout exactly what your opponent is doing. Like, Rogue tried to Baneling burst a guy having carriers. It was a little bit awkward. I don't know. I really feel like this is gonna, like in PvZ especially, in PvT, you know, maybe there's gonna be some action in the mid game. Not every game is gonna go late, but in PvZ, if the Protoss wants it to happen, it can absolutely go to the late game every single time.
Yeah, I think it should too, honestly.
And then it's just about late game, which right now seems to still be Zerg favored, even though we removed the Infested Terran. Somehow it blows my mind still to this day that Zerg, I really thought Zerg were gonna be destroyed in the late game when we removed Infested Terran. Turns out we didn't need it all along. That's the thing that blows my brain.
I knew that. I knew that for 2 years, Robo. I knew that Zergs are just whining about, oh, Infested Terran can't win late game, still win anyway.
Yeah, well, okay, but
So can we have them back then?
Yeah. I kind of do miss it. I do miss it. I don't like Microbial Shroud.
Has anyone used Microbial Shroud, unironically?
That's irrelevant.
No, I completely forgot this spell was in the game. But
That's amazing.
yeah, pretty much this map is gonna be the great, like, it's gonna be the, every time you're gonna ask yourself, oh, which map is favored in the late game, you're gonna look at the games on this map and try to get an answer. Because you're gonna get some nasty late games here.
So the carrier build that SOS did wasn't any good then?
Well, the thing I don't like about this Carriers build is because I'm like, I want to see him against someone that sees its Carriers and just makes 66 drones, Queens into Corruptor. I really struggle to see you win like that. Maybe it's still good, but I feel like it should be very difficult.
Well, you know, I think it's not fair because I think, well, no, I don't think, I know for a fact, since Rogue won IEM championship, I don't think he even opened StarCraft 2. So
that is very possible.
I think it's very true.
Where the guy that wins IEM always does bad in the GSL Super Tournament. I saw a stat the other day on this. It's actually kind of funny.
He didn't. I know for a fact he hasn't opened StarCraft 2 at all. So
doesn't need to. He's already basically had a great year.
Yeah,
Chad move.
Once you win that, I mean, you're going to get much better. Not statistically. What is ZVT looking like on this map? Trying to imagine.
I've died to Marine Tank most of the time.
Mech is good on this map, I think.
Mech is?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't played that much, but I think.
I think Mech, the fact that you can just like slow crawl it and you can just really easily defend your bases makes Mech stronger. And I don't know, like Juan, if you go Mech, what is your third? Is it the triangle third, or do you actually go down to the corner?
I think triangle. No.
Yeah.
Because if you go down to the corner, it's so far.
Yeah, because how and also how often do you play against like Swarm Host?
I think Swarm Host on this map are not good.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know why they make it.
We
Just
tested
because
it.
of the inhibitor zone type thing?
Yeah, because you can't get into the main very well at all. Because if you go through the
Yeah.
inhibitor zone, the locusts just take forever and they'll expire super fast. And then if you
Yeah.
take the triangle third, you have like, I feel like you'll have your army in a good position to defend frontal pushes of Swarm Host.
Yeah, you can
But
shoot
that's-
locusts from that island base into someone's main base, but they expire right around the time they land, so you can't.
So it's like,
Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's like why I don't get it when people play Swarm Host. But that's why I say I see potential. I'm just not gonna reveal the potential.
I can help you, but I don't want to.
Well, I can tell you if you think about it, there's stuff you can do, but I just will not tell you the answer. Why? Because I play these people, so why would I do that?
You can just DM me. I'm not gonna play against you.
No, but it's true. It's true. I'm legit. I think right now it's a TVC, it's Terran map, but I legit see potential in some ways to play on this.
Okay. And I don't know, any other thoughts on this map? Is this a good map? Is this a bad map?
I think it's a great map. I think this is actually
Yeah.
my favorite map out of all the new ones because I love macro games, like longer duration macro games, and this map is going to give you the most of them, I think.
I think
mean, if you like
the
macro games,
asymmetry aesthetically is pretty cool too. Having one purifier side and then one mech looking side. It's pretty cool.
Sure.
Yeah, the map's really pretty.
It's just pretty, but I don't know. Against Protoss, I don't know. I just haven't played enough, I guess. But I do see, as I say, I see the potential.
So out of the 3 new maps, it feels like you guys are liking Purity and Industry as well as Everdream, but disliking Golden Wall. Is that a pretty good assessment?
Affirmative.
Yeah.
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 Golden
Well, the
Wall's
problem is, if you ask pro Zerg players, they probably will tell you this map sucks as well. So, you know what I mean?
sure, yeah. Like that's honestly, I don't even consider myself a Zerg player anymore either. I consider myself like a random player now. That's all I've been doing for so long. I just think
you're
this map
taking
is fun,
you're
man.
taking the beastie cutie path where
Yeah.
you play random so that you can very subtly
Yeah.
guide
I'm gonna do
players.
this now, yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be one job at BCQT. You play random, then you propose a list of changes, then you make a video with the proposed changes, where it just happened to be maxed with 5 base as the 7-minute mark for Terran. I was like, nice, dude.
It's a very, very sneaky way to go about things. Okay, so overall, compared to last season, I feel like I'm getting the just from you guys that you really like these maps a bit more. Let's actually, before we talk about the maps that were made, I would like to hear the cheese forecast, Nero. You have some
Okay.
cheese ideas for us for some of these maps.
Well, it's not so much ideas. It's kind of my experience and a warning to the general public, I guess, because whenever a new season comes out, a lot of people have the question mark over their head of what are my vetoes? Like, what is the ladder like right now? And it starts out really cheesy. So I just wanted to go through, it's like one note on each of the maps.
Sure.
So 10-day ladder forecast on Zen, we've got a 90% chance of a pro blocking your natural expansion. On Nightshade, there's a 37% chance of Cannon Shield Battery with a 12% chance of Proxy Reaper. Eternal Empire, Battle Cruiser Pressure is in the upper 30s. Simulacrum, there's an 8% likelihood of 1 base Glaive Adepts, up from 6% in last season. On Purity and Industry, there's a 69% chance of Nidus drops or Warp Prism into the main base. Golden Wall, overall, Zerg is at a 2% win rate, estimated to increase to 5% over the next week.
Yeah.
On Everdream, Storms are very likely for Protoss with more than 2 bases, and watch out for Nidus into the main.
Excellent.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was not what I was expecting, but all right. Okay, so the actual map pool I want to talk about, because I saw a lot of complaints, especially about men being kept in. So obviously we have those 3 new maps: Everdream, Purity, and Industry, Golden Wall. It's so weird, by the way, that it's named Purity and Industry, because I feel like I'm saying 2 different map names.
Yeah.
But we have those 3 new maps that we just went over, and then the carryovers from last season: Zen, Eternal Empire, Simulacrum, Nightshade. What do you guys think about like the maps that were kept? Which maps are we happy with? Which are we?
We need to know what did they take away first. They take World of Sleepers, right?
Yeah, World of Sleepers is gone.
Ephemeron.
Yep. And
Triton?
Yes, Triton. Damn, good memories. Okay, yeah, so those 3 are gone. We've got the 3 new ones. What about these 4 maps that were kept?
I mean,
because I've seen so many people just go like, why the hell is Zen still there?
I like Zen.
I think Zen's not a bad map, man.
Zen is my best map. I don't know if that's like a RP thing or what, but
no, it's not. I actually think it's a good Zerg map, and I've not even me. Like, I don't know, foreigner Zergs, they say it's a terrible Zerg map, but every Korean Zerg likes it against Terran. So, who should I trust? And when I play, I
Protoss too.
And when I play against Zerg, I feel it's hard to play against Zerg in this map.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, if I had to pick any map to be replaced out of the map pool, I actually liked everything in the map pool before, and this one except for Zen. I actually don't like Zen.
I mean, it is a people to beat.
Personally, Simulacrum or Nightshade, I would have liked them gone, but it's fine. I mean, like, we can't really be too picky.
Okay, and overall, this map pool, because we've had map pools in the past where people were complaining like, oh, the maps are too big, it's very Zerg focused. Like last year, we had quite a few complaints like that. Looking at this overall map pool of Zen, Eternal Empire, Simulacrum, Nightshade, Everdream, Purity and Industry, and Golden Wall, what is your overall feel like? Do we have a good balance of power for the different races? Is this really a map pool that leans one way or the other? What do you guys think?
Well, according to Zerg players, it's a Terran map pool, just like it was a Terran patch 2 weeks ago.
I did see Raynor tweeting about that quite a bit, having a hard time against Terran on these maps.
Terran map pool. And but the best part is 2 weeks before that, it was a Terran patch, which which was hilarious considering we had 2 people in round of 12.
I mean, man, have you seen the number of people winning the ESL Pro Cups? It's crazy. It's only Terrans.
So good, man. The $100 tournaments that everyone tries so hard to play, I'm sure.
Everybody except Cyril. So now we can see what the balance will be like before Cyril.
Sure
it's full of TVT finals, my dude.
You think? Okay, let's put this. You think we played Raynor vs Hero Marine on a WCS event that's worth more than $100? Who wins and why?
On this map pool, who knows?
Really?
Who knows, man? Yeah, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man. Raynor lost to Clem and Hero Marine.
Yeah, $100 cups. Good job.
Well,
still think
like, you're saying that, and then you go and win the pizza cup, which we know is worth $37. But
it's what I'm saying. No one, me personally, at least, I don't really care about these tournaments. I play them to try stuff to see how people play. But other than that, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact. I think many people think like me. That's why in big tournaments, Terrans don't win.
Well, okay.
I think, what would you... personally, I think we are 1 map away from a Terran champion. We got a bit unlucky.
No, Cess would have destroyed Mario.
Nah.
And saying it like this is so unfair because he actually got destroyed by Rogue too.
I mean, he was 3-2.
Yeah.
It's pretty close, no?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can't really say
as close as you can get. So, I mean, yeah, it was definitely close, but. So, Juan, what would you say the map pool is right now? Where would this lean balance-wise for you?
Well, as I said, I haven't played the 3 new maps enough.
Yeah, but just see your idea right now for it.
I don't know. It's hard because it depends on the playstyle of every person. You know, some people really don't like them. Some other people like them. Like I know for a fact, for example, someone like Raynor really hates Eterna, but I know someone like Dark likes Eterna. So it just depends on people to people, I guess, right?
That sounds like an endorsement of the map pool to me, where it's like if it's just up to the person whether they like it or not, rather than the maps are all big or something like that, or the maps are too small.
Yeah, or like for example, I don't know, same we think with Sen. So Lambo says it's a terrible map, but Ragnarok still makes a good map for Berserk. Like, how can I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you really like weird tactical stuff, this season is more to your liking than the previous season. It seems like the maps they removed were more standard than the ones they put in.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing, and personally, I don't like it. Like, I'm one of these pro gamers that if I could get away with it, every map would be overgrowth with different shade of greens as a variation.
I like that you admit it, because it's so true. That's just like what so many pro gamers just want, the most vanilla garbage. It's just like,
if I cast a meme tournament that is overgrowth with different color schemes, it's an invitational. You'll come.
I will.
Okay.
That's amazing. Yeah. Vibe, what do you think about the map pool?
I think it's fun. It's the only map that I think has a problem for pro play, and also like if you're someone who gets confused or flustered or like things just get out of hand really fast and you don't know how to deal with it, and you don't enjoy that. What's it called? Great Wall, the one with the
Golden Wall.
Golden Wall.
Yeah. That map is awkward, super awkward, but every other map I love it. I actually love them a lot. They're good. I think it's a good map pool. It's fun. So I'm looking forward to the season a lot.
I know I'm gonna be very frustrated at this map pool though, but maybe it's gonna be fine in the end. But so many maps play so differently that every time you lose on them, you feel like you're robbed a little bit because all of your practice in the previous years of StarCraft didn't really prepare you for a map being divided in 2 by minerals.
That's a good way to put it.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
There is also the stages of development for new maps as well, where typically people find out obnoxious things to abuse first and then figure out the solutions as you go. So they should become closer and closer to standard macro maps as people figure out how to defend the weird stuff.
Yeah.
These first few weeks are going to be annoying. Prepare yourselves.
Also, I want to address something about the EPT cups. Like you say, Terran beats everyone in those EPT cups or whatever. But I can say the same argument that, but in the Asia region, Terran hasn't won a single one there. So like,
wouldn't you agree that in the Asian regions, there's literally no like top Koreans that really plays it?
No, Cure played a lot of them. He used that. A lot of them.
A few of the top guys, but like the really big names are definitely not entering.
You didn't like Maru? Maru doesn't play ever.
I could go for a list right now of the top 16 in Super Tournaments, and I'd be very surprised if more than 5 play regularly in the EPT Cups. And most of the time, we only like play 1 or 2 when they don't play anymore. In Europe, it's mostly almost everybody plays it except Cyril, and Raynor only started recently playing them, but otherwise everybody else plays them. So in the representation of the regions, I think the Europe one is more like representative of the Europe's level. It will be interesting if Koreans play more EPT Cup, to be honest. It would allow us to have more results of like what the balance is like, because I do believe Korea is a stronger region than Europe.
It is. It's not a belief. It's just.
I mean,
there's nothing to believe. It just is.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to remind the people watching at home that believe that because Cyril is the best StarCraft 2 player, then Europe is good as well.
Well, the best StarCraft 2 player is called Rogue, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to play StarCraft to be the best StarCraft 2 players, though.
Because if you win the big tournament like he does, I think he's the best that ever played this game.
Yeah, well, I do agree. I do agree with that. Just kind of funny that Rogue is so detached about it all.
And it's funny because so many people give him shit, but people fail to realize like every single big tournament, he does so well.
Yeah.
Every IM, every BlizzCon, everything.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, Rogue is quite good. Well, I mean, I think you guys gave some good stuff on those maps. Thank you for that. I do want to, while I have all this beautiful spread of races here, just touch lightly upon the current balance of the game. Because, obviously this is always something in the back of everyone's mind, and we're talking about the maps and how things go. What do you guys think about the way that the game is right now? Because there's been so many shifts, like Terran patch, and then Zergs win everything again, and Terrans don't make it except in the EPT Cups. How do you think the current game state is, and is it still evolving heavily on this patch?
Well, literally we had a new map. No, the patch in general, I think it's pretty stable, no? In general, it's already like it's been what, 6 months almost? 5 months?
Yeah, closer to 5, but
I think it's
4 to 5 months, right?
Mostly figured out now. At this point, it's mostly by maps now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know.
Are we doing a general balance talk now? Sorry, I wasn't.
Just kind of. I want your guys' general thoughts on the current state of it, because
how would you rate the balance of StarCraft 1 to 10?
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I'm a little disconnected from like the pro scene as much as I was before. Like not only playing but also watching. I haven't watched or played as much. But for me, I would say like an 8. The only thing, whenever I play, because I play all the matchups now too, and the only thing for me that seems like ridiculously hard to deal with is Terran versus Protoss when you play Terran. I feel like everything else for me feels pretty fluid. Feels good. Feels like I have options. Feels like I know what I'm doing. Feels like I'm, in control. But sometimes when I'm playing as a Terran against a Protoss, I just feel like I run into the same thing over and over and over, and I have to work my ass off to deal with it, which is just a bunch of charge lots and, just everywhere and all these things. But when I play Protoss against Terran, if I do the exact same thing, I feel like I'm just like at vacation, like, oh, what's up? And just throw them at him. You're dead.
Sure.
But other than that, I feel like it's really well balanced. I like it so far.
One thing that's important to assess, especially when people in the community are talking about balance, is the difference between balance at the top level and the balance for your average player for StarCraft.
I agree.
So for your average player, I would probably say it would be at a 10, except for what Zest did to ZVP. The meta right now is really obnoxious and mean. There are a lot of timings that are really strong and really good. So I feel like I'm still getting used to that. But StarCraft is in a fantastic spot. When people ask, like, I haven't played StarCraft in a while, how's the meta right now? It feels very fair for all three. It feels like I earn every loss that I get. and there isn't like some thing that's just being abused and I can't do anything about it. So to that end, it's fantastic presently. It's high impact. There are a lot of different styles. It does seem like bio is more back in Terran versus Zerg. It used to be more mech heavy, and it's getting more bio heavy now.
It's not good. Mech's not good.
How does that just keep happening? It just keeps switching back and forth. It's like, oh wow, mech's going to be broken on this patch, and then like 2 days later, it's all back to bio. And I'm like,
I still believe mech is going to be played some on some of these maps.
No, it's gonna be played, but it's not like. Remember, Serge saying mech's unbeatable. We're gonna spam it at IEM. Literally, no one played it because it's not good. It's just not that strong against Serge. You know, it dies to way too many stuff. And you want, when you play a tournament, you want consistency. You don't want to rely on.
Yeah. Speaking of consistency, it's actually something I wanted to bring up to speak about a little bit about the state of Protoss right now.
Yeah.
This is something. It's kind of a trend. If you study every great run of a Protoss player at IAM, it's always the same thing. It's a Protoss that comes in the tournament. He has got to play a lot of games across multiple matchups, so he can't really prepare for people. But usually, the reason we're gonna go far is because they have this one small innovation that they really perfected, and their opponents are not as prepared as they are. They don't have the same experience, and they can tap into that to win games. I don't necessarily mean being cheesy or tricky, but the main two examples I have here are Zest Adept builds in PvZ. And when Stats was in the final against TY, do you remember his 4 Stalker drop that was never used ever again after that? He kept going for
against
Stalkers. Yeah, he lost against Subu. Before that, he won a lot against everybody else. And I do find it a little bit sad personally that the top Protoss level right now is a 2-base pressure that's just refined over and over. And that's the best way to be more consistent. I don't think it's stronger, but I do think it's way more consistent at the top level. When you see
You're talking
guys
only
like,
against Zerg, right?
I'm mainly thinking about Zoe right now.
Okay.
But I was also almost going to bring up Terran later, because with guys like Stat that just play macro, Oracle, third base, and they go in, they didn't really go far in that tournament. Like, they lost pretty early on. And even against Terran, what you used to see back then, where Protoss was better against Terran, for example, was just a guy going blink, and he would pretty much go hold everything, and have better eco and whatever. And right now, if you carefully look at every PvT, you always have to surprise the Terran. Like, it's 2 players trying to surprise each other. Now you can argue about how much you need to surprise compared to the other, and there's some imbalance. But the fact that as a Terran, as a Protoss, I can just spam one build and be ahead in eco like it used to be, could be a sign of a great thing, could be a sign that it's still pretty shitty.
You mean like one normal macro build?
Yeah,
I mean,
I wish both race in TVP had that right now, because I really feel like information-wise, it's so fucking important to know your opponent plays, and if you don't, you're almost assuredly gonna lose the game. And this is kind of something I miss from the old days of Mothership Core defense, where both players could just chill if they wanted to. Right now, we really can't. So
I don't know. I think the Blink build is extremely safe and fine.
Nah,
if you use a better player, you're just gonna win most of the time. I think.
Like if you're better, sure. But the Blink build, I feel like you always need to rely on killing a tank for free to survive pushes.
No. So many players don't even go with the Blink across the map, because all you have to do, listen to me. You have to check if they're going 3 racks or 3 CC, right? You check, and if you find it, let's say if you find it's 3 CC, then you go quick storm behind it. But if you find it's not 3 CC, you go many units. That's all you need to do, like to find out as a response. You're obviously not gonna win every game. You can just, not even CES can do that, but it's just what many pros do then.
Well, I was mainly talking about the higher level people that I was watching, because like when you watch like Zest 3 or TY, for example, the Super Tournament, but every fucking game was a wacky build, like every single one of them, except the one where you find the proxy racks. Then there was SOS against Maru. I feel like SOS tried wacky shit, but it didn't work. Trap against Maru was also very interesting, because Trap was really dead both games. Then somehow brought it back with like 3 Zealots killing 15 ACVs, and like Blink Stalkers randomly killing so many units when Maru had like a push. That's no way in hell Trap would have held every time. Because for me, as a pro player he's lazy and like to play the same way all the time, I really like it when I see a build, I'm like, man, almost nothing can kill him. It's fucking great. And with Blink, so many things can kill with Blink. It's actually fucking insane, like how easy it is to just die to some random shit. You can obviously hold everything if you know everything, but it's not that easy. And I haven't seen at EM that sparked. I'm like, okay, this is almost too good. I need to do this. It's always, you always need to do something special. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. It's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, no,
you are.
I think you're making yourself quite clear, and I would definitely say like I get what you're saying, and I think it is generally a healthier place for a game if you have some sort of way that you can theoretically play standard, and if you do it very well, it holds everything. I think that that's like a sign of something very healthy, because you can always mix in the other stuff and catch people off guard. But if you have to play in a more surprising manner to get victories, that's like, it feels like that runs out.
I think that's
like,
why
right? Didn't
the
it feel like
four-player maps
Zest
out.
ran out at the finals of IM? It's like, what was that?
Yeah.
I think that's why they took 4-player maps out of the pool, to reduce that volatility. Because if you play standard and they go for a risky build that pays off like 2/3 of the time, then that's really annoying for pros.
It's also it's the last point I forgot too, because I had a point at the end of this, but I just forgot in the middle of it. The final sucked. The final really sucked. To people telling me, why is it bad then that you need to bring something to the table of the special build that's like you need to control to win games? Because this can happen. A final can happen where the guy in front of you knows every single one of this, knows what he has to do, and he's gonna completely destroy you. Roy destroyed this in games that were so bad to watch, I think, as a viewer. They were so boring. And I really hated that. IM finals were usually pretty good, I think. But like this one was just not good. I really disliked the final. And I wish a guy like Stat was to the final, because even if he got trolled, it would have been over like very long game where a lot of stuff happens, when there's a lot of big army clashing. That would have been super fun. But yeah, that's it. Promise.
Yeah, I agree with that. Any thoughts to add to that vibe or Miro?
Well, the Zest versus Serral series shifted a whole bunch, but basically Rogue just cracked the code of how to punish those openings, because they do allow Protoss to take a strong initiative, and he was just jumping the gun and hitting before Protoss could really let those builds hit their power spike, which ended up being really short games. So you can't see the big picture macro back and forth of the skill of those players. It was more like, you innovated a new approach to kill Zerg, and I'm going to kill you before you can do that.
Yeah, just like one player figuring out a build and then another player counter figuring out that thing that just got figured out. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on the topic overall, the current state of StarCraft 2, before we move on to some Super Tournament talk?
Yeah, friendly reminder that it's never too late to get started with StarCraft. The community is really nice and helpful. If you're lost, people are more than happy to share knowledge with you, help you practice, share builds with you, share streams. There are so many good streams that you can learn from. This is an amazing community.
I really would like to see like a balance patch, you know, for Terran, to help Terran.
You want to see another one?
Just
another
a balance
Terran?
patch in general.
Huh?
Yeah, or like just a balance patch, like to develop like the balance team being like, yo, we're watching what's happening. Here's what we think might be a problem on the list things when people talk about it. Because when they don't talk about it, then the community doesn't talk about it. And when the community doesn't talk about shit, the balance team feels like we don't have to do anything. It's like, that's actually it works. If there's no community discussion, the balance team does nothing.
Yeah.
So we have to create discussions one way or another. In feasible way, of course. I'm not looking at the 6 Walker guys to write more articles. I actually want something that's going to happen in the real world.
Yeah. I really want a Zerg nerf. And I know there wants a Zerg nerf too.
Maybe.
I do not want that.
Not at all. All right.
Also, okay, one last, because I saw a guy bring it in the chat, but I'm not going to go on a rant on this. One guy mentioned PvP. I'm starting to believe that Blizzard might have messed themselves in maybe the best PvP we have ever seen ever. This might be the best PvP meta. Forget about everything's proxied. I've watched PvP now. Every game is different. When you look at the replay pack, every game is like so dumb. So what if the best player is not always gonna win, you know? Who cares? The games are different, they're fresh and fun. And maybe it's for the best, you know? I'm telling myself that, and maybe it's gonna work. You know what's the saddest thing, too? We are this close to PvP being like literally Stalker Century against Stalker Century every single game. It's one small detail preventing this, because Stalker Century Expand is good that gets everything, but it dies to a proper proxy robo. If proxy robo somehow didn't exist, PvP would be so boring. It would be the same thing every game. 44 probes, 8 gates, we aim with each other, and I would be loving it. But Proxy Robo kills a fast expand, and that's how all the trouble starts. That's how all of the shit happens. But maybe it's good. Maybe it's amazing. I've been telling myself that these days.
It's not. I think that PvP got ruined when they took out Mothership Core. I've been saying that for a bit. I think that is the one thing Mothership Core did for us. It made really good PvP. There was such a variety of what you could do before, and now it's like, watch out, adepts are gonna get you, and then just fucking it went downhill from there. And it's even the immortal pushes with the Mothership Core, like, no problem, we got
So
this.
should it be a matchup specific unit? You can only build it in PvP.
I think we don't need to complicate StarCraft anymore.
Hey, it could be a balanced discussion. The team's going to be on it now.
Yeah.
We might
You
get a
can
post
imagine
about
that.
other stuff.
God, a completely different game. It's like, yeah, no, we have different units in this matchup because it makes it better. And I'm like, what? How do I explain this to anyone new? It's impossible. All right. Good chat, guys. We're going to jump into talking about Super Tournament as our last little subject here. Obviously, Super Tournament, GSL Super Tournament started last night, starting the Korean season. Finally, now that we are towards the end of March. Oh my God, it took forever. But yeah, we had that first night. Let me just read off the bracket for everyone to hear. It's TY versus Zest, Parting versus Trap, Patience versus Dark, SOS versus Rogue. That's what played last night. On Saturday, we'll have Stats versus Maru, Sue versus Innovation, Deer versus Kira, and Armani versus Solar. So first, I guess just chatting a little bit about the games that occurred last night. Zest 3-0'd TY. That was a very sad series to watch. Yes. Trap 3-2'd Parting. That was kind of a fun and exciting one. It was what Joe was talking about there. It's like, game 5, what was that? Oh, it's a proxy robo. Sick. Good work. You beat the soccer century. Dark versus Patience was truly sad. And then SOS versus Rogue was kind of like the crazy match that we had last night. Definitely went the opposite of what I was expecting. But there we are. For you guys, for which games that you saw from last night, what did you think about these matches?
I watched all of them.
Yeah. Well, tell me about TY versus S. Did you talk to him about it at all? It was hard to watch, man. It was really sad.
Well, that's TVP for you, man. It's hard to play.
Yeah.
It was what Vibe was talking about. You know, he plays random, and the only matchup he truly hates is this one.
I understand it. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a very unlucky series for TY. I'd be really tilted if I was him.
A lot of things went wrong for him in that series. I wanted it to be a good one, and when TY can't even make a scratch and looks like it's hopeless, I'm just like, oh my God, come on. It's so sad.
At least he absolved all Terrans for their responsibility in the matchup for a while.
Yeah, until we see Stats versus Maru and Deer versus Cure on Saturday, and then maybe the responsibility will come back.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on SOS Rogue? I thought that was kind of the crazy matchup of the night. Obviously, we already mentioned about that crazy carrier build into mass Glaive Adepts. Yeah, the recall of the carriers and stuff, that was crazy.
Oh, like while I think TY got unlucky, I think Rogue got destroyed. Like, even though it was kind of crazy and maybe like it felt like there was more of a game, I really felt like SOS was in complete control all the time. On Rogue, like, never really knew what was going on. So
it felt like he might lose that the Swarm host game though at the end, right?
I mean, it's funny, like, seeing the name actually influence how you think a game is gonna go, because I was like, yeah, it's SOS is always gonna win this. Yeah, I know SOS, he wins these games.
Ah, okay.
I mean, I knew that Rogue was gonna lose because, as I say, he has an open StarCraft too, so was no surprise there.
Well, it does seem like for certain players, some people thrive in periods of change and others in periods of stability. You think SOS thrives in periods of change?
I think the match of the night was a PvP, no? 3-2. I thought it was going to be a 3-0, and it was a close series after all. I thought that was the best matchup of all night, to be honest.
Oh, are you talking about Parting Trap?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of funny, right? Like, Parting cheesed first 2 games, got held, and then Trap played overly defensive 2 games into macro builds from Parting.
Yeah.
and then trap cheesed on game 5 with the proxy robo and killed him. It was like, it felt a little bit straightforward. I don't know. It was a good series though. It was
I think it was the best series of the night. To be honest, I watched every single one, and I can tell you that was the best one.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought SOS Rogue for me, I really enjoyed that stupid carrier game, and then like I felt like the Stormhost game was pretty close and good. I don't know. Thought it was...
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. It was actually something in the TY versus S series. Okay, if the Terran takes the island base in TVP and they leave a Medivac and 8 Marines there forever, how does Protoss get rid of his base?
You can't.
Can't?
2 more prisms instead of 1.
No, because you make turrets.
Okay.
The problem is it's not that easy just to take it, you know.
Okay.
You got to float it over with.
If you play a strategy as a Protoss that can't really deny it being taken, then you have to watch out for
like
that.
Which one though? Like let's say you play Stargate, right?
I mean, yeah.
Or let's say you play Blink, you're gonna have a War Prism by the time I fly my turn. I think that.
Yeah, but you have Medivac then. I don't know. I feel like because the reason I say that is when TY did it, I thought he got really unlucky that Zest actually managed to get rid of the third base. I feel like it came in at the only timing where like TY didn't have Medivacs playing around really close, and TY had 2 Medivacs, but he had barely not enough to hold the Prism open. So I felt like in a normal game,
hold it for a second.
Yeah, I feel like in a normal game, TY should have never lost his base, and then I feel like it's a very different game.
Yeah.
So I was wondering about that, like how often are we gonna see this island base being taken? Maybe a lot, maybe never. I'm not sure.
I think it's gonna be a rare thing, to be honest. I don't think it's that hard to defend if you know it's gonna go. I just feel like it's a novelty of the map. Not many people check, but eventually people is gonna start checking over and over. So it's gonna lose the power that it had at the beginning. You know?
I feel like every map that has island bases, we don't see them taken too much.
Yeah, it's just the way it works.
I wish that we did see them taken more, but
yeah,
it just never seems to be the way. Just kind of a pain in the ass to hold. All right, looking at the other side of the bracket that we are going to be watching on Saturday: Stats Maru, Sue Innovation, Deer Cure, Armani Solar. Where do you think this goes as far as the 4 players advancing?
I think normally I will give the edge to Stats, but I'm not sure how much he actually has been playing because you know he has to go to the army soon, so it's kind of like I don't think you want to stand playing all day games when your freedom is being taken away, right? So
everyone's
at least that's
all the time right now, anyways. So I would imagine everyone would
that's
just
what
practice.
he told me at least saying after I am Katowice. So I would think Maru will win. Normally, like in normal situations, I say I would think Stats will win. So Innovation is a hard one. Like they both very good and they both can be very bad. So it depends on the day they play, right?
Okay.
But I don't know. This one is like a 50-50 to me. Deer Cure, I think I've been playing with Deer, and I think he's playing very well TVP. But so does Cure plays very well TVP as well, right? But Deer is very smart at preparing builds. And so I know he got some stuff prepared. And the other one, I don't know CC. So yeah.
Okay.
How much stuff has Armani been doing lately? I actually haven't really been following, but if I had to guess by blindly picking, I would say Solar.
I mean, he was doing well, and then we came back from IEM, and he's been playing League. So there's your answer.
You actually, he's your roommate, right? You live with Armani, so
yeah. There's your answer, but I don't know.
Solar boys.
Yeah.
But then I log in StarCraft 2 and I see Solar playing 2v2 with his girlfriend, so there's the other answer.
Well, at least it's StarCraft 2, so I mean, that's something at least.
It's just going to be a friendly casual series between them. Yeah, let's just agree to not practice for this.
I mean, there's still some time, no? It's on the 21. Well, it's the 2 days, never mind. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well, overall in the tournament, obviously, Super Tournament, we announced seeds 4 players directly into GSL this time. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, people are looking to get in for free. Who's the champion of this tournament, would you guys say? I'm kind of looking at Dark right here.
That's what I'm thinking too, Dark. Yeah. I think he plays so aggressive, just in general. He's a very, like, he can just switch it on and just kill you. And especially with, like, some of the new maps, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to say that Pro-Koreans don't understand the maps. Like, they're going to figure it out pretty fast. But I feel like just aggression. I would just, every map besides Purity and Industry, I feel like aggression could just be very, very, very good on. So, and he knows how to play macro anyway, so it's fine. I feel like Dark is going to crush.
Dark. Yeah. Who do you think, Drew?
That's a rough one. I would have really liked if Dark on SOS were not on the same side of the brackets. I really like SOS. I've fallen in love with SOS in my month in Korea.
You're not gonna go with a Terran patch?
And Terran patch. I mean,
and Terran maps too. Terran maps as well.
Terran patch and it's Terran match, but it's also like the one guy that's gonna win this tournament is the guy that practices.
They all play. Well, most of them practice.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. It's honestly too hard to call. I will say Dark. I think Dark's gonna win because I think Dark is really pissed off after IAM. So I think he actually practiced a lot. So he's gonna want to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, out of these 16 players, the only one that I know didn't play the game is Rogue. The other ones I have no idea. But you guys gonna call me crazy.
Okay.
I think Sue is going to win.
You predict Sue in every tournament, so I don't think you're crazy. It's just what
Sue
you
will
always do. You always think Sue is going to win.
Yes.
Sue Dark finals, that'd be nice.
I mean, I don't know the final. How do you know Sue is going to win?
CVZ finals for the Reddit Karma.
Oh boy, if that happens here, man. Bro, if the CBC finals happens here, bro, what will happen to your soul?
What?
If the CBC finals happen, what will happen?
This is a great matchup, man. Stop hating.
I'm not hating. I'm just asking what will happen to your soul.
I'll make a meme and get some likes. And like, what else is new?
You are good at memes. You're like the #1 meme creator right now for me.
I know.
I'm feeling
Nero, did you say who you thought was going to win here?
Yes, and I used the voice mod. I can do it again. If
Oh,
you want.
yes, that's right. You said Dark as well. So we have 4 Darks and 1 Sue. All right. That's great that everyone thinks Zerg's still going to win.
Yeah.
Despite what we've been talking about.
On the Terran patch and the Terran map as well. Don't forget about
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you're playing ZergCraft too.
Oh, you just won the night.
All right. Okay, so that's.
I'm glad you like it, Papi.
That's the best. That's what I'm gonna use it. Yeah, we played in Terran patch when we played in StarCraft as well. So.
Yeah. Well, we want to see some Zergs start beating some Terrans instead of just always beating Protosses. That's why you got to have the Terran patch in ZergCraft. All right. So that's Super Tournament. This is the first time we're doing Super Tournament where it's not each day in a row. Normally we just do it 4 days in a row and marathon it, but we're actually doing Wednesdays and Saturdays. So everyone make sure you tune into that. Any other thoughts before we move on to Patreon questions?
Actually, I have a question. So the Saturday is going to be the other half of the matches, right?
Yes, that's right.
And then the Wednesday is going to be
Wednesday
matches?
will be the quarterfinals, the round of 8.
All of it?
Yeah, the whole round of 8 will be played next Wednesday.
And Saturday, semifinals and finals. Okay.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Just want to
And
make sure.
finals is best of 7. So
yeah. So we're going to see Golden Wall.
Yeah, it's Golden Wall and ZVZ. Isn't that going to be sick? Can't wait.
Yeah.
You take the gold bases ZVZ? I don't know. I can't wait.
Oh, you do. Oh, I should
All right. Nice. All right. Moving on to the Patreon questions. Of course, we have on stream right now the your latest meme, Drogo. I just love your memes. To printer go.
Depths into a depths.
Dude, I still laugh about the Virgin Trap versus Chad Classic, and then like the lol, what the fuck? How does he have so many mutas?
Yeah, that's really
that's the funniest one because I see myself in that so hard.
And
like,
you know you made it when Tasteless put it on his Instagram, you know?
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny. You know what's the worst though? I have two TikTok IDs. One of them is very good, and one of them is godlike. But making TikTok videos is it's not 10 minutes in Paint. It actually takes work.
Yeah, I know that.
So lazy. But one of them is so good, but I need costumes, a clean room in my apartment, which is currently not the case, and I need a bunch of clothings. I don't know. It's just too much work to me.
You have to do it, man.
I will do it one day. Like I will do
Please.
it, but it takes a lot of work.
You have to think. I don't know what is it about. But it can't be too late, otherwise it loses meaning.
No. It was gonna lose meaning if a Zerg was like if a non-Zerg won IEM, then the godlike meme would not have happened. But thankfully, Zerg won again, so the meme is safe.
No.
I can't wait. I really look forward
No,
to it. I'm gonna
Javi
have
got
to
so many
download
murals.
TikTok.
I love it, man.
Yeah, no, that what was that? I saw some video you like singing or something at the Korea house.
Me?
No, Drogo.
What?
You made like some. Oh yeah, no, you were acting it out or something. Yeah.
Oh no, that's dog shit. That doesn't count.
That was great. What are you talking about?
It was me doing the Joker dance, but I didn't see Joker, so we were just imagining what a Joker dance would be.
Alright.
That's it.
Okay, moving on to the Patreon questions, guys. If you want to leave any questions for these fine folks, check out patreon.com/The Pylon Show. You still have time to drop some questions in there. All right, let's get to it. Lamora asks, now that ESL has a much greater stake in the outcome and viewership of StarCraft 2 events, could and should they have a greater say in how often balance changes are made to the game? Is there a chance of having a Paul on the show to talk about this and other related questions? I would definitely like to get a Paul on the show, and I will. That's a good idea. I will try to get him on here. But what do you guys think about that? Should ESL try to put some pressure on getting more patches?
I mean, they still have to go through Blizzards to do changes.
What's the difference? Change nothing.
So, like, I feel like at the end of the day, Blizzard still has like the final say in everything.
Yeah. Well, they do own StarCraft too, but like, does it seem reasonable, right? That like if ESL is kind of taking on a lot of responsibility with StarCraft, that they could be like, we need a patch.
I think it has merit to it because I mean they're more connected to what's going on actually right now, whereas Blizzard could be more disconnected. So it could be more like a voice of pros. Like you could like, you know, they could be just another avenue of like discussion. So I don't think it's that bad.
They could do a segment during an ESL offline event where they just have the pros talk about stuff. They interview them for a couple quick thoughts for each matchup.
But Blizzard does that already. They've been doing that for 2 years. So
yeah, but just for the meme value for the community.
For the first time in my life, for the first time in my life, I went to every single Terran pro gamer you can think of, and I made them make a list to send to the balance guy. That was done last week.
Yeah,
nice. I'm very glad to see the improvements in Terran coalition, because back then it was very sad when we had these balance meetings. It would be the entirety of the Proto scene, like 13 people. Mac Canning was here, you know.
Okay.
And then there was like 3 Zerg. They were just like, yeah, whatever, like 3-4 Zerg on 1 Terran. Soul on the balance team for 1 hour, just stalking. Yeah, it was that. Because you have to realize that in the Protoss thing, when like one of us would say something, on the other 11 would be like, When you have an entire group agreeing with everything one of them says, it carries a lot more power. I mean, Protoss still sucks, so that didn't really work, but back then I felt very good about it.
Well, it's good that you guys work together on that. And well, I look forward to seeing if that occurs. I don't think we're going to see an increase in balance patches, to be honest. I think actually we're probably more likely to see a decrease.
Oh, we do need a patch now. Let me say.
I mean, I like it when patches come out. It does freshen it up a bit. Thank you for the question, Lamora.
You want to play StarCraft or what?
StarCraft is fun, man. Come on. Enjoy that for 10 years.
I like StarCraft. ZVZ is a great match. I love it. Sour Cream 2 asked, hey, everyone. What are your favorite podcasts and specific episodes/guests for that podcast? I'm interested about what people who follow a lot of StarCraft enjoy outside the game. Keep up the great content. Love you guys. So do any of you guys listen to podcasts regularly?
Sometimes, but they're like
podcasts.
Not too much.
I don't very often, but when I was on my move from Texas to Seattle, I listened to a whole bunch of Gary V, actually at Cobra Venom's recommendation. He has a lot of really useful branding, marketing, entrepreneur information for people.
I just
I watch. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I just watch just like mind melting stuff. It's nothing really like super informative or anything. It's just literally like filler content. It's a Good Mythical Morning, just random stuff where it's like, what kind of taco is better, and just like, just they do like taste tests and shit. It's just like stupid content, but it's fun.
All right.
Those stuff like watching sports TV work counts. That's the only thing I can think of I do outside
Sports
of
TV.
not like the actual sport, like the people talking shit about the sport people. That's what I like to watch.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I watch.
Okay.
So like the Pylon show of the sports, that's what I watch.
Yeah. Great.
Damn.
That's okay.
Well,
good stuff.
I listen to podcasts about American politics.
Oh god.
That's it. That's the only kind of thing I listen to.
Cool.
It is a shit show. There's always something to hear about.
Yeah, there's always something new.
Yeah.
Can our
I listen
sweet
to
tooth-
Some podcasts I listen to, like not every episode of everything, but I listen to like some Joe Rogan and Sam Harris and Tim Ferriss and a lot of the popular ones.
I like how no one said the Tasteless Cast. I listened to that one.
And the
What's wrong with you
Tasteless
guys?
podcast.
Yeah, what's wrong with you guys?
All right. Thank you for the question, Sour Cream 2. Saint Zero asks, no meme this week. I will confront Artosis in a meme question dodging lifestyle later. I suspect a lot of people are going to be at home and maybe without usual comfort of life. Share a recipe you enjoy that is either cheap or uses unusual things to give the audience some cooking inspiration. What do you guys cook for yourself that's interesting?
Absolutely nothing.
There used to be this thing at PF Chang's called Tam's Noodles, and they discontinued it like probably 8 years ago. But I used to work there, and I figured out what it was, and I recreate it every once in a while. It's really unhealthy, so I don't eat it all the time like I used to. But it's basically, you get rice cake noodles, you get abalone sauce, you get baby spinach, you get steak, you cut it up really finely, and then you use like soy sauce and chili paste, and you just mix it together, and it's delicious. I have pictures of it on my Twitter, actually. I could probably post them in the Discord. It's so good, though. I love it.
Excellent.
I got a
I
build
the chef.
for a meal that I make pretty often. Brown rice, sliced avocado, corn, black beans, egg, Mad Dog 357, and salt. Hits all the bases. You got a complete protein. Got some pizzazz in it with the spice. Plenty of protein. Hell yeah.
What is the flavor though?
Mad Dog
That's the most
357.
that's the most important thing, the flavor.
It sounded very good. What do you mean
Really?
flavor?
Sounds good. What is Mad Dog?
It's a super, super spicy hot sauce. It's about the same heat as police grade pepper spray. So you would put a very small amount in it, depending on how much you want to hurt.
Yeah.
I just put it in the picture in Discord, but this one doesn't have the spinach, but I do put baby spinach in it as well, like the spinach leaves. That's really good though.
I see
What about
you
you,
taking the
Drogo?
green
You
out.
cook anything?
I mean, I cook every day, but I'm two things: extremely lazy, so my recipe never get too complicated, and I'm also vegan, so I wouldn't feed anything I eat to anybody to impress them, because it's very bland. Yeah, it's super healthy. I eat extremely healthy these days, but yeah, I wouldn't. One day we'll have to cook like to impress. That's gonna be a tough day. I'm so lazy. If I spend more than 10 minutes in the chicken, I'm out.
Yeah,
All right.
that sounds like me.
I only know how to cook eggs. So I make myself very often an egg and blue cheese omelet where I crack some eggs and put them in the pan and then like pop the yolks and mix it. And then I wait till it hardens a bit and put some blue cheese in it. Salt and pepper on top.
You could just do rice in a rice cooker and put egg over that. Then jazz it up with some spices.
Damn. But that
sounds
would mean I know
complicated.
how to use the rice cooker.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Getting technical now.
Don't get to listen. Oven only. All right. Thank you for the question, State Zero. Paragleber asks, what are your thoughts on Command and Conquer Remastered? It comes out on June 5th and includes Command and Conquer 1 and Red Alert with their expansions and with a rebuilt multiplayer mode. Are you going to try it? Do you think it could even have an esports potential? WCG had Command & Conquer 3 in 2007 and 2008 with Apollo winning in 2007. Yeah, that's right. Apollo is actually a world champion of Command & Conquer 3.
Just like you in
yeah.
Hearthstone.
Huh?
Look just like you in Hearthstone. You're a champion as well.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. Well, when games are new, sometimes our old commentators can win them. What do you guys think? Are you going to give Command and Conquer the remastered any try? Do you think it could be an esport?
I don't know.
I feel like all the remastered games, I don't really see an esport coming out of it. I think you'll have like a hardcore scene that'll like support it and appreciate it, but I don't see it becoming like a big thing. Unfortunately, I feel like the only way you're gonna get a big thing is if you get a fresh idea, like some new RTS that's just gonna like dominate everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I never had the Command and Conquer background, so I don't have any of the nostalgia. So who knows, I might play it, but I probably won't.
I have the exact same answer as what Vibe just said.
I have the exact same answer as Vibe said.
I have the exact same answer as what Vibe said.
Nice.
What about you, Joe?
StarCraft players.
I have never played Command and Conquer in my life, and I will not play the remaster.
Damn. Even harsher than what Vibe said. All right. Sorry about that, Paragleaver.
I am excited for Doom Eternal coming out this week, though. That's my shit.
Yeah, nice. Is it multiplayer?
There will be a multiplayer with it,
Nice.
yes.
Yeah, Doom is good.
Did you guys try Diabolical, by the way?
That's just like a Quake remake, right? It's all
Kind of,
like
yeah.
Quake. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very much like Quake.
I haven't tried it yet, but it actually looks pretty fun.
Oh, it's good. It's
Yeah.
really fun. I like it a lot. All right. Lightning Lynn asks, hey, please answer this question in a serious manner.
Okay.
I want a way to veto mirror matches on ladder. Why is this a bad idea? I have a high win rate against Terran and do well against Protoss, but I can't improve just because of my refusal to battle my own race, and my MMR suffers for it.
It's part of life. You just got to deal with it. You can't veto things you don't like. Be like, I don't like school, so I'm vetoing that out of my life. It's no longer a factor. It's you just got to balance it out. You got to figure it out. It's a problem you got to overcome. So just have patience with it, and you'll figure it out.
One thing that a lot of people forget about StarCraft 2 is the win condition that happens most of the time is that you frustrate your opponent out of the match by putting them in a position that they really dislike. You don't really end up killing their final building very often. So if the matchup feels exhausting and obnoxious, that's correct. That's kind of what the game is.
True. I have found personally in the past when there's a matchup that I really don't like, the best thing that you can do is make it the matchup that you really just work on nonstop for like a week or two. And then suddenly it'll become a matchup that you understand a lot better and you'll like it a lot more. Because normally when you don't like something, it's because you're confused and you actually don't get it. But once you get it, you'll become good at it. And then it might even become your favorite matchup.
Yeah, to echo on that, that's actually from when I used to be a pro gamer, I had experience where I would actually have like a matchup that I knew was noticeably weaker than my others. And then I would focus on practicing with players that I thought were good of that race. And then you just focus on it for like a week or two or something like that. Just grind it out. And suddenly you're just like, wow, this is actually might even become now like my best matchup because I just gave myself like a full refresher and I've just fully invested into it. So yeah, exactly what you said.
It's a very good feeling too when that comes true, where you're like, wow, I'm actually strong at this now instead.
Yeah.
Or you can link Bane only in every game.
Okay.
That works as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I hope that was serious enough for you, Lightning Line. All right, Polly asks, how do you define balance? People look at win rates in tournaments. Is that a legit factor? Could there be a checklist to see if the state of the game is balanced or not? Maybe let Alpha Star play against itself after every new patch? Love you all.
I feel like tournaments, make sure it has to be plural. Like you have to look at multiple tournaments. I don't think you can look at one and be like, yep, that's balance right there. Because you might have players that are like good representatives of your race that might have had a bad showing of that tournament. That can always happen. But if you see like a consistency over time, over like, let's say 10 tournaments or something like that, just like you have a bigger sample size for it, that you might see a trend of something that looks imbalanced. But yeah, you have to have a good diversity of like top representatives of races, and then also just enough of that to happen. So just more showing.
Looking at the statistics from the top tournaments, the sample size is so small that it's hard to make huge conclusions from the data. And then another thing too is the human element of sometimes someone was practicing and someone wasn't. They played League of Legends before the tournament, as was mentioned before. or they're just not on good condition, like they're jet lagged, they had a flight or travel problem and things like that, or they made a major breakthrough in the matchup, but that might get solved later on. So it doesn't necessarily mean something is imbalanced because there was a new build that came out, because after people have reviewed the game, they can figure out how to defeat it. So the players also balance the game too.
I never really look at the statistics. I think that people don't understand how to look at statistics correctly. I think looking at the actual gameplays and seeing if there's patterns in there as to why people are losing and like what they could have done different and like really kind of theorizing helps to decide what's happening balance wise. And the earlier something happens in the game, the easier it is to tell if it's imbalanced or if it happens at supreme late game. I think middle game is really, really complicated to tell what's balanced and what's not. But yeah, early on you can, like, if you remember 5-Rax Reaper, you could just do the math real quick and be like, yes, this beats everything. Way back in Wings of Liberty, it was like, yes,
I remember.
Nothing beats it. It's like there's not something special you can do where you make one less drone.
There were maps like Metalopolis too, where it's like the Reaper jump spot is your entire side of your base. You're like, oh yeah, cool. Grenades just landing on your hatchery instead. Okay, I lost.
And yeah, so the earlier it is in the game, I think it's easier to just theorize and be like, is there anything you can do here? There's not. Okay. And then super late game, you can just use your imagination and be like, is there a composition that beats Broodlord Infestor? And then you just kind of go through like, well, what about this? And you can actually just kind of do it in your head. But the mid game is much harder. And I think looking at win rates doesn't help too much.
I agree. If we look at win rates, it's a Terran patch and a Terran map also. But we know it's far from true. So.
EPT Cups, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, EPT Cups.
It's crazy, the domination. These poor Zergs not winning these hundreds of dollars. Thank you for the question. Red Gunner Guy asks, does anyone actually dive into StarCraft 2 lore? Read the books or text, etc. I finished reading the Dark Templar Saga. It's not bad. Anyone else read it? Any thoughts? Also, thoughts about StarCraft 2 lore in general? I personally do not read the StarCraft 2 lore.
Neither.
It's actually funny. I'm really big into reading the lore of extremely random games. I will sometimes lose an entire day just reading Wikipedia article of a random game I've never played in my life. But I don't care about StarCraft 2 lore at all. I think the campaign drained any want I could ever have of knowing more about the lore. Because I don't know, like the story of the game is not super great. So yeah, maybe it's good. I don't know. Maybe it's super good, but never really looked into it.
Storytelling is a major thing that I do in my channel across the board, from StarCraft content to WoW content. And my overlords are named and my queens are named. People can spend channel points and name an overlord. It's like 50,000 points, so it's really expensive, but that's a thing that's open. So it's kind of the swarm developing and having its own life and narrative within the StarCraft universe, not just the books that are written by the Blizzard people and stuff.
For me personally, like I mean, I read a lot, but StarCraft feels, the thing is, I haven't spent much time on looking into it, but it felt too much in StarCraft 2 like it went towards a love story type thing, and there's nothing in the world I could care less about than a fucking love story. Like that is the last thing I ever want to read about. I want to read about like epic shit and battles and like, you know, people that are really good at stuff, but as soon as it's like, well, she murdered a planet, but I love her, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I can't do it. It's just, it's not.
That's just what people have to do to find a woman to love in this current society. I don't know why I did that. Sorry.
All right. Thank you for the question, Red Gunner Guy. Grassy Tiger asks, this is a rant. It seems like Blizzard doesn't care about this community at all. They give us these tiny patches and that's it. I don't care if they make a patch that breaks the game anymore. I just want some new content. I wish they would do something with the arcade to become like Steam. Thanks, boys.
I would say that's incorrect in its approach. StarCraft is the most try-hard esport community there is, in my opinion. And we basically make the content with our competitive games that we play and our quests for higher MMR and higher leagues. There's always something new to learn and refine upon in 1v1. And I think Blizzard knows that, so they don't need to adjust chess. It's like StarCraft is the chess of games. You don't need to patch chess. It's fantastic. Go get the next league. Get 100 more. Good luck.
I think from like I agree with that, but I think also another part of it is like you have to realize that StarCraft was made a decade ago, and they've already made the expansions that they stated were going to be made. So you can only expect so much for like new content. Like they were doing co-op commanders for a while. They've definitely slowed down a lot on that as well. But like speaking as somebody who has played co-op commanders, like there's only so much you can really like consume of that. Like we don't have a team that's constantly producing content out like World of Warcraft where you have like a subscription fee to play StarCraft. So the game kind of like has made what it's made, and I mean I'm not opposed to like having some idea that's going to maybe influence like more ingenuity in the arcade scene. Like so maybe something cool will come out of that, but you have to be patient because the game is super old and it is already kind of developed what it's supposed to have already done. And we are still getting balance patches and stuff like that still annually. Like it's still being updated every year at least. So
there was a pretty recent co-op patch, balance patch that is. I think I've remember reading about that, about balancing the co-op.
There's still people working on co-op.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's definitely things are.
Isn't co-op like by far the most played thing in StarCraft 2?
It's pretty big, yeah. Like in terms of like total player base, it's pretty large.
Yeah, no, like in the first place, I'm amazed it was like such a big co-op thing in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I think I saw stats like this was like years ago, but it was something like multiplayer of StarCraft 2 is literally only like 30% or something of the entire player base who plays the game. There's a large campaign only section and then a co-op like section as well and custom game people. So yeah, it's pretty big actually.
All right, thank you for the question. Sauce King asks, surprise, you've been nerfed. The gods have determined that one of your life skills is too OP and replaced it with Microbial Shroud. What OP trait of yours would have to be nerfed in order to justify giving you a completely useless bullshit garbage ability such as Microbial Shroud? What thing are you guys too good at that needs to be nerfed?
Wait, does that mean I'm going to win at everything else? Because I take it that way.
Sure. What are we nerfing for you, Juan? What are you just too good at?
My sex appeal.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I second that.
My facial expressions.
There we go. All right. What are you too good at, Drogo?
I think for me, it's every time I aim move for the win, it just does Microbial Shroud instead. And, and I die.
Okay.
Yeah, I like my aim move key.
My Zergcraft, because even though I've been retired for 5 years, I can still sometimes take games off pro gamers.
Damn. All right.
I remember, talking about that. I remember that legendary Drogo BS5.
That's why I said it, because I knew you were going to bring it up.
Yeah.
That happened.
I mean,
What happened?
Yeah, I mean, we played on that one map that was, I don't remember. And I was winning pretty hard, but it was like.
Was it? I can't remember either, honestly.
No, it was like the same map. But anyway, I was like in a good position. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna practice my late game, and I got completely destroyed. Oh yeah. I mean, you played well, so no shame.
Like a monster. All right. Thanks for the question, Sauce King. The Regressor asks, the new Africa TV studio looks great, and I hope to visit it soon. What's one new thing about it that you like the most compared to the old studio? The location is really great. It's like literally right next to Lotte World, which is a theme park in a giant mall system in Jomshil. Jomshil is like a very, it's an area with lots of tourism because it's got like some giant malls and things like that and an amusement park. There's like infinity restaurants right there, and there's a PC bong attached, a PC cafe. So like I went to work on Sunday there, and or maybe it was Tuesday, and Tasis was already there at the PC cafe just playing StarCraft. So it's like kind of a cool difference about it.
Too bad no one can go.
Yeah, not yet. But eventually it'll reopen. It's pretty cool. It's nice. People will like it. All right. Thank you for the question. Ken Wayne Haynes asks, though chess is purely a mental game, fitness is considered vital at the highest level. Long days of playing can wear down the body and dull the mind. I see many parallels between chess and StarCraft. What are your thoughts on fitness and its ability to enhance pro gamers' ability to win? You guys have any thoughts on that?
I have an opinion because I've actually been getting really into fitness
It's
lately.
true.
This is personal experience, but I don't know. I've never really had a mental gain from fitness. Like I feel like I've sometimes played better StarCraft when I'm like, I just wake up and I'm like, all right, my brain's not even turned on, and I'm just like, just playing it like automated, and I'm like, wow, I'm playing better than I was before. But I will say 100% about like how my body feels, like my wrists and hands especially. Like I actually feel like I don't fatigue, because for a while I was getting like wrist pain and finger pain like all the time. We're talking like maybe like a year ago. This is happening a lot. And ever since I've been doing a lot more exercises, stretches, like proper taking care of my body, basically, I feel like I can just grind it out nonstop now. And I don't have like the actual pain anymore of just like posture pain, like where your like back hurts, your shoulder hurts, your elbow hurts, your finger hurts, like none of that. It's all kind of gone. I feel great now. So it's definitely worth it.
Cool.
Blood flow powers the brain. The brain consumes 20% of your daily calorie intake. So the health of your brain is very closely connected to cardiovascular health. And it doesn't need to be an extreme amount of exercise. I think they say 10 to 20 minutes. And you've basically got enough to have really big benefits over the course of the day. For me personally, I definitely feel like I take tilting situations a lot better if I've exercised in the morning. If I've gone for a run and there's bullshit in the Twitch chat, or I'm getting cannon rush over and over again, I tend to be less pissed off.
Switch to Terran. You're gonna get pissed off regardless.
Yeah, no, seriously. I cannot play Terran and be like chill all day. It's impossible. That's very true.
I do agree about the tilting part. You tilt less when you go to the gym. But in general, I tend to be way down on the going to the gym will improve video games things, because I don't think it's a causality. I think it's an association. When you work out a lot, you're improving overall your well-being or whatever. Like it's obviously better for you, but it's it's better for you. So then, as a result, across many things that's improving your life, StarCraft improved a little bit. The reason why I'm so skeptical is because every time I see one of these smartasses that are like, oh, all of these pro gamers are not doing all of these pro regimens where you work physically a lot too. I think if they go into this facility with coaches and they work out a lot, it's going to be a lot better because it's more professional. I think, dude, the nerd playing 10 hours a day in his basement is nearing the top of what you can do to be good at video games. And just randomly throwing him into a gym to improve his performance, I highly doubt he's ever going to do anything like significant. I actually genuinely believe that. And every time someone tries to praise the physical exercise as being, oh, this amazing thing that every fucking programmer should do ever and every programmer organization should do, hold your horses, my dude. You might actually nerf your player.
I actually agree with you, but I think that it only applies to a small percentage of people, because that dude who sits in his basement or whatever just playing all day, he will be very good, but he's also very self-motivated to do that. And I think somebody who exercises, it's like a vague thing where if you actually incorporate exercise into your habits, it makes you more like motivated as a person in general. So if you don't actually have the motivation struggles, then you could definitely be the guy who just grinds all day and you're fine. You don't even need exercise.
You could design a study for this. It doesn't really work for people who are already super good, because anytime you take them out of their habits and their comfort zone, they're typically going to perform worse to start out. So what you would want to do is get some people who had never touched the game before. Half of them you have do an exercise program, half of them don't, and you watch their progression over time and see if there's a difference.
Yeah, you could. That'd be an interesting study.
Yeah. Any volunteers?
We're already super good at the
we
game.
all play too much.
Sorry.
Thank you for your question. Iron Dick 9000 asks, Artosis, if Tasteless would suddenly morph into a hippopotamus while casting with you, would you still try to make the cast work, or would you run from him and leave him there casting on its own?
Would he be able to speak, or is he just making noises like or something?
So it would be basically the same as what you're talking about. Yeah, I'd probably run. Hippopotamuses are very dangerous. Thank you for the question, Iron Dick 9000. My God, what an ID. Tristine asks, I believe I've heard M.Artosis mentioned that in any RTS, defensive playstyles must become stronger over time. Could it be that after 10 years, StarCraft 2 needs a massive overhaul at this point to allow new offensive strats? Otherwise, an inherently defensive race like Z will always win in the end.
Or nerf the queen.
No.
There you go.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm genuinely actually into nerf. I'm not even.
We needed that buff so bad years ago. Okay, let's keep it that way.
No, it's actually needed. It's fucking insane. There's these talks in the pro gamer scene now that remove one range on the anti-air of the queen. It's the way to go.
The Liberator harass before the Queen range buff was really tough.
But you people were so bad as well. Like nowadays, Liberator harass is not about the Queen having one more range or no. So having map vision and units on the place.
Yeah.
I would say about this question, I guess when I talk about RTS games and how defensive playstyles become stronger, it's you figure out aggressive things first, and then defense follows it as you learn to defend. We were talking about Nero was mentioning it earlier about how that's like the maps start aggressive, right? Like everyone cheeses at the beginning of the season, then you figure out how to stop everything. Yeah. It's just like a natural occurrence over time in any RTS. Because if you can't defend things, then it just becomes stupid. Like it's hard for me to put into words what would it look like if offense was always better than defense. Like if you couldn't defend things, it would just everything would be PvP or something, right? Like it would be really silly where you're just attacking each other all game and it becomes more random, and it's just like I guess go play a fighting game because you can't just turtle. Well, actually some characters can, but it's
well, it defeats the purpose of macro. I feel like it just makes like everything is just a timing or an all in, and then if you don't have any way where defensive styles can be effective, then it's like why am I even sitting back? I should be attacking because I'm behind now because I'm not actually attacking you too.
Yeah.
I feel like it would. The way I describe it with like an analogy would be like having the ability to like defend things like one thing after another is like having like, let's say you're a car with like a tank of gas and you have like more gas in the tank so you can go longer through the game, whereas if you're somebody who like doesn't have as much diversity to defend a lot of things, you have like only like a quarter of the tank in gas where you just kind of drop off at a certain point. So it's an important thing to have in a game, to have a game that just like goes further through the further through the stages of the game, and it develops. That's what also develops epic storylines in a game, where the game can go from the early stage of aggression to like an epic in finale.
Yeah. I think it always speaks to health when you can have the game go longer and longer if the players are playing well. I think it's important. And obviously it's important to be able to attack. If you have games where defender's advantage is too high, that becomes really terrible. It becomes like playing SimCity or something where there's no action. I think StarCraft 2 has a really good balance, to be honest. You have like a really big range of that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. Hyper Turtle asks, I'd like some thoughts from experienced streamers. When streaming co-op or team matches, is it best to only stream with your own voice, stream yourself along with your teammates, or not stream voice at all and privately speak with your teammates? What do you guys think?
Both.
I think, I guess I'll just go. I think it's a brand thing, and I think it depends on how well your personality can incorporate others to your stream, and how much you can still like. It depends. Like, are you the kind of streamer that just ignores your stream and you're like, yeah, you guys want to watch? You just come here to watch, and I provide a show. Or are you the kind of streamer that is like, I'm going to provide an interactive show where I will incorporate you into it, whether it's not like they're like on the call too, but you still read the chat and you still acknowledge them. But if like, let's just say somebody else gets added onto your Discord call and they're completely taking your focus and you just ignore the chat, it's definitely not going to help you. It's going to be more of a negative for you because your chat's going to be like, well, this is what we're used to. And like, because I think consistency is like the most important thing for streaming. So whatever your brand entails, figure out a way to fit that in, and whatever you think works for you is probably the best way to go.
Oh, good answer.
1v1 ladder games with commentary is like the gravity well of streamer, because you can play matches that other people can apply in their own ladder experience and also read the chat, commentate, and stay plugged in with them. As the number of voices with you goes up, the interaction with your chat goes down because you're trying to manage your communication with them instead of the chat. So it is a trade-off. I think it's good to have the voice in there too, because that is part of the experience. If you're doing co-op or if you're doing team matches, being with the teammate is the whole point of it. So you may as well be talking with them too.
Cool. Thank you for the question, Hyper Turtle. Hope that helps. Got 3 more questions coming up here, or 4 more. Some drunk Canadian asks, say one nice thing about Zerg. Could be about a Zerg player, could be the Zerg race, could be a specific Zerg unit. It doesn't matter. One nice thing. This question was paid for by the End the Zerg Hate Campaign 2020. Sending much love from the quarantined north. All right, say something nice about Zerg, Drogo.
Namshar is extremely handsome. Anton is the best person I know. Raynor's funny for a 17-year-old.
These are people that play Zerg. This is not Zerg the race.
I think what you mentioned, it could be something nice about a Zerg, no? Not even.
Oh, it could be about a Zerg player. Okay, you're right.
Okay. I don't know. The Queen can shoot very far.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, Special? Anything nice about Zerg?
Man, that's a hard one. Lambo is pretty good at CS.
True.
Lambo is pretty good at CS.
And at Dota.
Yeah, okay.
And at Dota.
And at Dota.
Nice.
I don't know what else is nice about that.
Say something nice one. Come on.
Well, it's nice that they have map hack when they play the game, so I guess that's nice.
He's struggling. He's struggling.
You just think creep is gross. Creep is awesome.
Oh.
Banelings are the best unit for farming StarCraft Red Karma.
That's true. That is true.
That is true. I don't know, man.
Thanks.
I
for
can't
that.
think of anything nice about Zerg. I hate it so much, so what the hell, man?
I appreciate that you tried one. Vibe, do you have anything nice about Zerg?
Yeah, it's good. Zerg, whether or not it's a good or a bad patch, usually you'll be a patch Zerg, you know? You gotta take advantages of it in any way you can.
Mhm.
It'll take you to the finals. If you pick that race, you're probably gonna do well.
I think the players are consistently the least grumpy. Would you all agree with that?
That's actually very true. I talked to another Zerg player and it's very casual. I talked to a Terran player and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells.
Yeah, Terran players in general are just angrier. That's just the thing between.
Whoa. Yeah.
But I think Protoss players are pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Protoss wasn't part of the question, so I appreciate it.
All right. What can I say nice about Zerg? I think Nero and Vibe are great Pylon show guests. There you go.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Conveniently,
thanks
that's
for-
a comment
thanks for
about
the question.
people, not about the race.
Well, people that play Zerg, it said. Could be
Yeah,
about a
it's
Zerg
a-
player. You guys are Zerg players.
Vibe is random.
I think
Yeah,
one of the
it's
best
random.
one of the best things about Zerg is the feeling you get when you've fully stuffed your opponent into the corner and you have creep everywhere and overlords everywhere and you just feel like there's nothing that can stop you.
Ah, feels so good.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for the question, some Canadian. Fridge Raider asks, if you had to choose a Zerg unit as a pet and you had to take care of it, it can't be neglected / do its own thing, what unit would you choose? The unit can be from StarCraft 2 or Brood War, multiplayer, or campaign. So you have to Zerg. What Zerg unit would make a good pet?
I would get a drone to try to help me find some goddamn groceries, for Pete's sake. Everything is out of stock.
Damn.
Go get bananas. It goes and gets bananas and brings them back. Hell yeah. Everyone should have a drone pet.
All right. All right. I get an Overlord. Carry me around in its nice, warm, juicy body, and like it flies and it can detect things and like.
How would it drop you? Would it drop you like how it drops creep as well? It just poops you out with that.
I would shimmy down on a tentacle.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for the very weird question there.
Yeah.
All right. Our very own Alessander asks, what is your comfort food? Azeroth Roundtable and Core are lively podcasts. History of Rome, History of England, and Norman Century are great. Try 4 newscasts, podcasts to learn French, Italian, and Korean, news in slow French, and France 24 are really great. Also, the Alan Watts podcast.
So she's throwing out some of her favorite
Yeah.
podcasts. What is your favorite comfort food, though, everybody?
Hot wings, buffalo wings. Oh
All
man.
right.
Sushi.
Food? The best food there is?
Like,
I think everyone knows
Comfort
tacos.
food. Comfort food.
What do you mean by comfort?
Comfort food is like what you eat if like you had a tough day and you're sad. and
So every
not
day.
gonna be-
It'll make you happy.
So every day, yeah, for a Darren player, every day.
Well, if I could eat taquitos every day, I would be the happiest person in the planet.
All right. What other comfort foods we got here, Drogo? You have a comfort food?
Extremely boring answer. A pizza.
I
It's
think
the
it's the
truth.
right answer, though.
Pizza
Yeah,
is
it
good.
is.
It's one of the most addictive foods.
For me, specifically, a frozen pizza that I microwave. So that
What?
it's like kind of, that's my comfort food right there. Like
You
if have a
microwave your
pizza
frozen
and
pizza?
you microwave it. So like the outside of it's hot and then the center is still a little bit frozen. That is like my
Okay.
ultimate comfort food. You can tell that I've had a very tough day if I eat one of those.
Yeah. Is this the kind of thing that happens when you have 4 kids? Jesus Christ.
No, this is an
No,
American food.
I've been like that since I was a teenager. That's like that's my comfort food right there.
You know, recently I found out that Americans have frozen taquitos as well.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
very surprised.
Yeah,
What? How do you guys eat that, dude?
My brother loved those. All right. Thank you for your question, Alessandro. Thunder Junk asks, what's your least favorite map of all time?
Golden Wall.
Golden Wall.
It's a pretty good answer. So it's relevant. I think my least favorite map of all time is the original version of Lost Temple. That map sucked. I hated that map. There was so much stupid stuff that could happen to you every
That
single
was
time
a
you played on it.
stupid map. Yeah.
It's like, oh, he made authority, put it on a cliff. I lost. Okay.
Worst map ever, Drogo?
I'm looking for them. There has to be one. It's so much harder to remember the map you didn't like. Just someone else answer the question. I'll have their answer really fast.
Sure.
Mm.
I don't know. Some of those very
I don't know,
early
like, you
maps
guys gonna
were
make fun of me,
Creeless
actually,
Ravine.
I think, like, for example, Overgrowth was a very bad map, for example. I didn't like it.
Overgrowth,
So many
yeah.
people like it.
I loved it.
Fuck, what was that map? Okay. Help me out. Artosis.
Yeah.
The map, the extremely famous game between MVP on Nasty, where MVP made like 1 billion ghosts and killed 1 million broodlords for the first time.
Metropolis.
No, not Metropolis.
Shakura's Plateau.
Yes, Chakras Plateau.
Okay.
When I was in high school, I hated PvZ so much because I felt like I would just move out and just a swarm of units would come in and kill me. And I distinctly remember only playing this map against my one mate from my, like, that was a little bit better than me. And we would keep playing this map over and over. And I would keep losing. Every time I would try to tell the two Xenlaga in the middle, it would just surround me and kill me. I've played so many games like that, and by the end I was going crazy, but I really wanted to be good at PvZ. This is my worst map of all time, I think. Because I was so scared back then. That was when StarCraft was so scary to me. I couldn't take the Xenlaga, dude. Zerg. Even back then. Crazy.
Back then, Zerg were already giving you nightmares. Today, giving you nightmares as well.
That's crazy.
The least favorite map, Neuro?
Well, I said Golden Wall kind of as a meme. So probably that so far, at least until I've applied some of these notes. I did get some good notes. I'm very thankful. Appreciate you guys.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for the question, Thunder Junk. Our last question for the show from Fear Dragon himself. Who has the weirdest habits at live events, like weird setup, weird pregame rituals, etc.? Thanks. Cold rain brushing against your face and cooling it through a process known as convective heat loss. Does anyone have weird habits at live events that you guys can think of? That
I always thought Sheth had the weirdest playstyle. He would put his keyboard in his lap and he would just play like that. I was like, how do you even?
Yeah.
It's like flopping around off his leg. I'm like, I don't understand how you even play. It just seems super weird.
Nothing can really make you feel quite as bad as playing with Sheth for a couple of years and then seeing him at an event and the keyboard's on his lap and you're like, you beat me like that?
One thing
I
I
don't
saw
know.
sort of do is he makes his monitor super, super warm that cuts out almost all the blue light in it. I hadn't seen other people do that very much.
I do that at home, but I don't do it at tournaments in general.
That's
'Cause I have-
interesting. Why would you do that? Actually, I don't. I think I'm a little bit
Blue
lost
light
on
really fucks with human. I have the filter on my screen, and I have these glasses. I can see perfectly. These are just for the blue lights, so I have like a double filter on me at all time.
Huh? What's wrong with blue light though? Like I'm
Well,
ignorant. Please.
it's the main thing that hurts your eyes in general, and also for me it was quite necessary because at some point in 2016 my eyes, like not my eyes but like these parts, started twitching on its own. But it actually kept moving on its own, and once I started doing some blue light stuff, I completely got rid of it.
So okay, I am so ignorant. Are we talking about the color blue, or is this like a special type of light?
No, it's a special term. It's not the color blue.
Okay.
It does make your screen a bit more yellow though, but you get used to that super fast. And most feedback that people get, it's been so long since I've done it, I will not be able to tell, but you feel the strain on your eye decrease quite a bit when you like try to filter out the blue light. I'm pretty sure if I turned on the filter after like 2 hours, I'd be like, oh yeah, shit, I can't do that anymore.
Wow.
The blue
So do
light
you-
also keeps you up later. It stimulates you more. It's closer to like the sunlight of midday kind of a thing. And you're stressed out in StarCraft enough. So I think it increases strain a lot having that blue light from your monitor. for a long
Really?
time.
It feels like if it kind of wakes you up more, maybe that would be helpful in the game. Or
I mean, you're already getting 2 based all in. You don't need any help waking up.
yeah, I guess. Okay. Now you guys got me a little bit fucking paranoid. Why do I still have good vision? Like,
Well,
A couple
it's-
things too. Keeping the monitor further away from your face can be helpful too for eye strain. If your monitor is like right in front of you on the desk, that can be more because your eyes have to work to keep your focus.
There's no proof that if you use the monitor, makes your eyes worse. You know, there's no.
I am pretty sure that's
not.
the.
Bro,
Yeah.
I literally went to the how you have the doctor of the eyes. I don't know how to call it. I went like before I came to Korea, and he literally said, "No, there's no proof that shows that if as many times you use the monitor, does nothing to your eyes but make it tired." Which is
Yes,
normal.
that's true. One thing that you can do as an exercise too, if you feel like your eyes are a little bit strained, is take maybe 2 minutes and look off in the distance out a window or something and blink maybe 20 times. You refresh your tear layer of your eye so it doesn't get dry. And that can also allow your eyes to relax a little bit from staring at a screen that's close up.
so is that what like the gunner glasses do? They like
Yeah.
stop blue light?
Yeah, they have like
No
an extra
shit.
filter.
Yeah,
Because I always saw those and I was like, what is this? Why would you need these?
Dude,
They reduce a bunch of eye strain stuff, not just the blue light.
Huh.
Not sponsored.
They've really like updated the glasses though since they first came out. Because I remember when they very first started, I actually bought a pair and I wore them for like a week straight. Like every day I was on the computer, but when I used to be a pro gamer. And I remember when I took them off, I would actually reach to take them off still because I would have like a yellow filter in my vision even after without not even using them. Because there was like the yellow visor the whole time. It actually like messed with my eyes for like a week until, then I stopped using them, but they've updated it since then. So they're like, the models are better now, I guess.
Huh. Well, I have learned something here. Thank you, you guys. I'm gonna have to look into that. That's right. Daddy's on the show, huh? Look at that, yeah. Hi.
I was wondering which one of my tab was making this sound.
Yeah, those are my friends. Yeah. All right. Well, that does it. That's the end of the Patreon questions. I'd like to thank you all for coming by. A big shout out to our sponsors. Who's that?
Make sure you play Zerg.
Say hi.
Laser.
He's
Wow,
waving.
why not?
What a nice boy he is. Yeah. Your block fell. All right. So, by the way, guys, everyone check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/The Pylon Show. We have a new goal. And I have him. It's okay. We have a new goal up there for Tasteless to come on. So once we hit a bunch of threes, we're gonna have Tasteless on the show finally after so long.
For
so
sure.
definitely check that out. It's gonna be amazing. And then of course we have the Matcherino. I got him. It's okay. We have our Matcherino page. Matcherino.com/The Pylon Show. Use the code word noodle and you can help us out there. And of course, check out thepylonshow.com. gmail.com for all of your Pylon Show needs. A big thanks to all of our $100 patrons as well. We love you guys. You're the best. Yeah, so guys, this was really great. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Why don't you guys just let people know where they can see you, what you want them to check out, follow you, all that stuff. Vibe, let's start with you there.
You guys can check me out on my stream. It's pretty much got everything associated with what I do. It's twitch.tv/vibelol. I stream. I'm what you call a mega grinder. We're talking sometimes 7 days a week, 30 days on, no days off. I don't even take days off half the time, so I'm always there. Afternoons to evenings to middle of the night in American time zones, so like PST. And yeah, everything else I do is pretty much associated with that. So check it out if you're interested.
He's a great WoW player as well.
Hey, thanks, Paul.
Cool. All right. And how about you, Juan? Where can people find more of you?
Just my Twitter and my Twitch, I guess. That's where I am. If I'm not there, I'm probably practicing for a big tournament. So it's twitch.tv/special_. That's where you can find me.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my Twitter, Chivo Special.
Or in the Asmongold YouTube comments.
YouTube comments as well. I could be there.
He thinks you're funny too. And Drogo, how about you?
Well, if you want to see me post about dumb things, you can follow me on Twitter, @tdrogo. If you want to see me on my tournaments result or whatever, you can probably just follow my team, Raise Your Age Gaming. I've joined them recently with Zest and Bly, and they've been great so far. It feels really nice to be with them, because I'm not gonna lie to you, the maker shit, I saw it coming a long time. I was the first one to leave, and for good fucking reasons. So anyway, it feels really good to be with them. Raise Your Age are really great, and if you could give him a follow, that'd be very nice.
Excellent. And Nero, how about you?
I have a brand spanking new Linktree page that has all the different places you can follow me in one spot. Really cool. Shout out to Cobra Venom for making that happen. I also have my book available for $1 on my Patreon, and I post weekly Zerg replay packs there as well. Those are public posts. You don't have to pay anything. It's just a nice spot to go and grab them. Tuesdays, I do tryhard streams, so if you want to tune in and be completely ignored by me for 6 hours, that's a good day to do that. I go over all the losses after it, and I try to find out what I could have done better and then set some goals for my next sessions of practice. And then I just brought back subscriber casting and analysis Saturday evenings. So I raid Blackwing Lair with my WoW guild in the early afternoon, and then in the evening we open it up to subscriber casting. So if you want to have a moment in the spotlight, have your game shouted out, or get some help with your matchups, that's a good time to do that. Podcasts are going every single week, politics, philosophy, things like that. And then D&D is every other Thursday. That's with Exile 5 Pig. Apoptosis is our DM. Cobra Venom does production. Body V does art, and we have Cockeyed Gaming on as well. That's been a really fun segment. We have 5 episodes out of that.
Nice. All right. And as for me, just a big shout out to the whole Pylon crew for putting this on. Thanks again, guys, for all of you joining me here today. It was a very fun discussion. And just check out GSL's back, ASL's going on, and I stream super regularly for a bunch of hours every week now. So check that out. Any follows and subscriptions and stuff on my channel. Big thanks, guys. So that's it. We will see you next week on the Pylon Show.
GG. GG.
Bye.
Shout out to the Pylon Show, the greatest show on the internet.
Nice.